Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
Good morning. Good morning, wonderful people. And welcome to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show as we dial in on day one of the work week. Our first broadcast in the month of March. Josh, have you come around to that vibe yet? It's your birthday month. You got all the high school and college tournaments, St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras. I don't know why we don't spend more time talking about the events at Mardi Gras.
We've been yelled at before about that. That's for sure.
Dana gets married, I believe, this month. Have you accommodated yourself to the month of March yet, Josh?
I have. I had a couple days to get ready. I'll tell you what, if we were broadcasting March 1st, I would have been a mess.
Yes.
But I had the weekend to get ready for it.
The first broadcast of the month of March. That's a lot of pressure right there. Before we go any farther, we need to address something that we wish we didn't need to talk about, but it wouldn't be fair at all to leave our listeners in the dark. This is no joking around now. Wapple has been let go from the company. He was let go last Friday. It happened right after we got off the air last Friday morning. All of us feel bad for the guy. He'd been with this radio show for over a decade. And we had a lot of fun together. This was simply, how do you say it? The nature of this and many other businesses. Management makes a decision. Whether you like it or not, it stands. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that kind of thing. His departure wasn't the only job lost in the building last week. So we all wish it could have turned out differently. Some of us have talked to the guy. He's not exactly pumped about how things played out, but he's looking forward to whatever's next for a pimp. So we wish Wapple the best. I'm sure we'll see him around.
Definitely see him around.
See him around town. But that's what went down last Friday, and it's only fair that you know.
You know, these are tough no matter what. And I know a lot of businesses are going through the same thing, these layoffs. And locally, there's a couple of companies that have made the news for it, losing hundreds. We lost some. And it's tough no matter what. But, you know, when it's a guy you're real close with and someone you count on seeing every morning or hearing every morning for listeners, it's especially tough. Like you said, I talked to him over the weekend. He was in good spirits. He said he's actually excited to forget about what his alarm sounds like and plans to play a lot of video games.
Good for him.
Yeah, I bet.
He's got a couple of things possibly lined up, including he's considering doing some video game live streaming.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, he'd be great at that. Kind of getting into...
Yeah, the Twitch scene.
Yeah.
Little nerd.
I don't
that.
know. Yeah, he said he's kind of pumped about that. And I made him promise me that he'll never wake up before 7 a.m. again.
Seriously.
Never once will he get up before 7. Otherwise, he's in big trouble. But as you said, Nick, he's been a part of a lot of great times around here. I'll always have a ton of great memories. He was kind of like a little brother to me. He's always going to be a friend of the show. And I'm looking forward to hearing his new Jesus name.
Oh, that's a good point,
with
yeah.
whatever he ends up doing next. And he has a couple things. That could be coming true for him.
But you said something about competitive video games?
Streaming video games. Like, you know, he'll go on and play, I forget what games he's into, but he'll play some games online. People can kind of join in and watch and play along.
You know, work.
Sucks.
It's a bitch. Whose idea was it anyway?
What's that?
Work.
Work in general? Yeah, I don't know. How far back does that go?
I don't know.
Good question.
When did they start doing that, and why?
Whose idea was it? Well, you know, like we've talked about before, there are people who don't even bother to go to work. And I think they've got the right idea. They've got all the ability and opportunity, and they just choose to sit on the couch instead. Despite all the criticism they receive, I think they've been right all along. Why bother? So, there you effing go. You know, it's the nature of the bitch. That's how it plays out now and again. The world is an effed up place, Josh. I mean, John Cena turned heel over the weekend.
That was crazy.
I was surprised at what a big deal that was for folks.
I haven't watched televised wrestling in years. I'm ashamed of myself. I have no real good reason other than the fact that I just don't have the time. It's the same reason why I can never get into these series. Not very often, television series. Not very often can I commit myself to I just don't have the friggin' time.
Well, you watch a lot of games. I mean, that's 3 hours of your time, so you're not going to be able to sit there and binge watch
Exactly.
Lincoln Lawyer or something after that.
Exactly.
Which is very good, by the way.
I'm usually watching a ball. Lincoln Lawyer is a fine program.
I enjoyed it, yes.
I'm usually watching a ball game. I still feel obligated to watch these ball games, but I haven't watched televised wrestling in years, and again, I'm deeply ashamed.
What about AEW? I thought it wasn't that long ago you were watching that. It's been years, really?
4 or 5 years now.
Is it really?
I know.
Oh, man. Because I remember you and Wapple would talk
easily
about that.
Easily four. Yeah. Oh,
I can't believe that. It's March, this new March you were talking about. It's got me all messed up.
There's nothing you can say to me, Josh, that I haven't already said to myself on the subject. So I have no idea who's who or what's going on at all in television wrestling anymore. But it showed up on a bunch of websites over the weekend that at a pay-per-view over the weekend, WWE's Elimination Chamber, John Cena turned heel, and people are wetting their pants all over the globe over finally, this guy is going to, at least for a brief period of time, not be the hustle, loyalty, respect, smiley, fruity pebbles guy. And good for him and good for the WWE for finally pulling their heads out of their asses, because there's nothing. This much, I hope wrestling fans will still allow me to be involved in this conversation despite not watching their product for years. There's nothing more fun in television wrestling than a well-done heel turn, where suddenly that smiley, happy, high-five the kids in the crowd guy becomes a raging prick. That's fun. It's long overdue for John Cena, and I hope he has some fun with it, because he can be great at it. Just like, The Rock's a good example. He was always better a heel. There's so much more you can do with your character when you're a heel. So, not that this is going to make me, sit with bated breath and watch Raw tonight, bouncing up and down on my couch. But I think it's a fun story. It's fun.
You're right, though. I can't believe it took them so long to do this. And he's retiring at the end of the year, so we're only going to get a few months of this.
See, I missed that part. Thank you. I forgot. He's on his year-long farewell tour.
And I think
supposedly.
I think all wrestling fans kind of assumed it was going to be he was just kind of ride off into the sunset doing, like you said, the Fruity Pebbles, hustle, loyalty, respect gimmick that he's been doing very well for a long time. But no, he turned heel. I had some friends that told me their kids were crying watching the pay-per-view. Yeah.
Then it was worth it. It was worth it. If children were crying, it was worth it.
I wonder if he'll go back to a face by the end of this. Don't you think?
I'm guessing so.
He'll probably end up that way.
He's not going out a heel. He's not going.
I wouldn't think
so. If he really is done wrestling in the next 6-8 months, he's not going out a heel.
And as much as I do love him, I hope he actually sticks to this retirement thing, and it's not just he keeps coming back every 6 or 7 months like The Rock does.
Name me one wrestler who has retired and stayed retired.
That's why I'm hoping Cena can be the first.
He won't.
Not a chance in hell.
No. If the WWE's struggling again, they'll bring him back.
Of course.
Oh, God. I wish I would have been watching. That would have, I'm sure it was very exciting.
It was genuinely shocking. I was watching live.
Did you know it was coming?
No, gosh, no. I was like legit stunned.
The crowd went crazy. Here's
my wife. She doesn't watch wrestling. She watched a little bit growing up, like a lot of people did in the 2000s, but she doesn't know anything about it. And she was watching me watch it. She goes, "I can't believe how genuinely shocked you are right now."
That's fun. That's what makes it fun.
Exactly. It reminded me of being a kid and watching wrestling and being surprised by things, because these days with the internet, if you watch wrestling, you can kind of see where things are going and how it's going to work out. But that one genuinely fooled a lot of people.
The response online was crazy. I mean, that was a really big deal. Mm-hmm. Like, big, huge news organizations are writing stories about television wrestling and what a big deal it was.
Yeah, it somehow even made it to my social media, and that's how I knew it was a big deal, because I don't look at anything having to do with wrestling.
I can't imagine your algorithm pops up too many wrestling things, actually.
No, I was very confused at first, too, because it was like 2 pictures, and one was a picture of John Cena with a happy face, and then the second one was him with an angry, mysterious face. And I was like, what is this supposed to mean?
You don't get a lot of wrestling on your social media, but I bet you still look up pictures of Arya Davari in his friggin' little trunks. I bet you do.
Duh, I'm only a woman.
Our old pal Arya Davari. Here's
I've got 2 of his action figures.
Oh, God.
Sometimes they fight each other, good Arya and bad Arya. Bad Arya has some tattoos we've drawn.
Does bad Arya have
a lot of wieners?
A twisty little mustache
He's
on?
Scary.
Bad Arya? This is great. Ask me about CrossFit, Jesus says. Of course, John Cena's retiring. He has to make some more incredible movies.
Oh, gosh. So bad.
He's decent in a couple movies.
He is funny.
Oh, come on.
It's the commercials that get annoying. It's like every commercial I hear, he's doing a voiceover on it.
Yeah, well, Honda. Mm-hmm. Does he do? That's the only one I.
Yeah, there's a couple others too. I can't think of off the top of my head, but I'm like, oh, good for Cena. Got another endorsement.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's the one that kind of pissed me off when I saw he was endorsing Honda motor vehicles. Right? Mm-hmm. I thought, why can't some voice? What do we call it in the business, Josh?
Actor?
A voice actor.
Voiceover
Guy. Some voiceover guy who's 30 years old living in Lincoln, Nebraska, who could use a paycheck. Why didn't he get the job?
Well, that doesn't happen anymore.
They gave it to John Cena.
Yeah, they get all those big. That used to be a joke for them, right? If you were an A-lister, you're doing commercials for something, you're a joke. But now that's just, except like overseas, right? Like Keanu Reeves would do some commercials overseas. Some of these big stars would, but they just wouldn't do it here. Now it's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right.
Every vehicle has a big name star.
Absolutely
test.
does.
Like Hyundai is Jason Bateman. GMC is, oh my God, I love the guy too. Also on his podcast, Dana, with Jason Bateman.
Oh, Will Arnett?
Will Arnett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they all have big names.
I never thought of it that way, but you're right. It used to be embarrassing.
Yeah, you'd think, they're really on a downward slope here.
Up until a few years ago, if you were a real big shot, you wouldn't be caught dead here in the States doing a voiceover ad for Burger King or a car or a beer or something like that.
No way.
When you would watch America's Funniest Home Videos and whatnot in the 80s and early 90s, they would show us clips of major American stars doing corny voiceovers in Japan and whatnot, and we'd go, oh, God, why is Tom Selleck doing a Taco Bell ad in Japan? What a loser. Now they're all getting those gigs. It's become a trendy thing. I still think they should have given it to that kid in Lincoln, Nebraska.
He earned it.
Got 4 or 5 kids from 3 different women.
It's the same thing, too, about movie actors who do TV shows. It used to be a big stigma. Once you reached movie level, you didn't go back and do TV. But now it's kind of, with streaming and stuff, it's kind of been trendy for big A-listers to do these HBO series or, Hulu series.
Oh, yeah, definitely, Dana.
The A-listers, I'll tell you right now.
Dana, I don't know about you, but I still get giddy when a new Netflix movie or series comes out, and it does have an A-lister. I'm like, how'd they get him to do this?
Yeah, it's
money.
Cool.
Lots of money.
Lots of money. Lots of that streaming money.
Money or scandal has led them to that.
Yeah, a lot of that.
That particular gig. What else is going on? Later on today, we'll get Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder in here.
I'm interested in their thoughts on the Wolves. Brad essentially promised us a win on Friday from the Timberwolves. Thought that the 5 of us, he said, could beat Utah, and that's not what happened.
Ridiculous.
Nah, they lost to Utah.
So the 5 of us could beat the Jazz. So that means we could also beat the Wolves because the Jazz beat the Wolves.
Yeah, I'd posterize Ant.
Yeah, you could. I could picture that happening.
Yep.
But they got a win last night. Josh, one of your all-time favorite songs played a role in my weekend. You want to hear about it?
Which one? Yeah.
I was involved in a music from movies trivia contest. My favorite neighborhood bar with my new favorite neighborhood bar DJ, Roger That.
Oh, that's great.
Was spinning some tunes Saturday night.
I'm jealous.
You like that name?
It's so simple. It's
I also
great.
love that name.
It's so simple. It's perfect.
The first time I heard about it, I said, I'm going to this guy's gigs. His name is Roger, and his DJ name is Roger That. I'm going. So he played music from movies, and you had to name the movie where the song came from. Now, I got it incorrect. I got this answer incorrect. But, some of them were quite, ones you know about. I've had a hell of a time.
I like that
And
song.
I know that that was from Dirty Dancing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, some of them where you've heard these a million times. He did make it somewhat difficult, which I enjoyed. But you had things like Huey Lewis in the News from
Excellent.
the Back to the Future. What was that one again?
Power of Love.
Power of Love. There were a couple really difficult ones. Now, this one I got incorrect. I effed it up when he played Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Yep.
Which, as you know, when Josh was a young man, he loved that song so much. It made the most Catholic kid in town shoplift.
I don't remember that. That's not how I remember it.
You, the straightest laced sumbitch in town, you wanted that friggin' CD, Seal's hit single, Kiss from a Rose. You wanted it so bad, you shoplifted the damn thing.
Are you suggesting that I went to Burnsville Center to buy that CD and was so embarrassed to buy it that I walked out of the store with that CD, and then I got a call when I got home from the Burnsville police saying somebody got your license plate number, and I easily could have said, I don't know what you're talking about, but I said, you got the right guy.
Oh!
I mean, hypothetically.
So hold up now. Did you stole it because you're too embarrassed to buy it? Like
Yes.
you had money that you could have
Correct.
exchanged for?
I brought money
I
to
always-
the store, and I was looking at the people behind the counter, a young, hip-looking gentleman and a very attractive lady. I thought, I can't buy this in front of them.
I always thought this story was you were stealing it out of necessity. Like, I wanted this badly. I'm broke.
No, I
I'm
had
just
the
gonna
$10
steal it.
to buy it.
Did it ever cross your mind to just say it was for somebody else?
It's a gift from my mom.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, right. Yeah, you could have just said it's a gift from my sister.
I never considered that. God dang.
The part of the story that I forgot is the cops called your house and said, we have your license plate.
Yeah, one of the workers walked out, and I must have been I know I was terribly nervous, so I sucked at it.
You must have looked so suspicious.
Oh, I'm sure.
They watched you walk out the building.
And they got my license plate.
But yeah, that's the part I forgot about. You could have easily said, I wasn't at Burnsville Center.
Right.
And over a Seal CD, that's probably as far as the cops would have taken it.
Exactly.
But you said, yes, it was me.
You got the right guy, yeah.
Where did it go from there?
Then I had to go to court.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And so I go to court, and the judge, he goes, hey, you got excellent taste in music.
Oh, right.
And so I thought, well, I've got a rapport with this guy, so I'm going to throw in a little comedy and said, yeah, I thought it said steal.
Oh, no, Josh.
Dead silence. It was like I was on the air. Nothing. No response. And he said, do you have a checkbook? I said, yeah. He's like, all right, you got to pay for the cost of the CD and a court fee. And I just walked over and paid that. And, when I walked in there, too, it was like, I'm looking around. Everybody's intimidating because we're all there doing something, right? We're all in trouble for something. I was like, please don't say what I stole. Just say shoplifting. But no, he brought it up and talked about he enjoyed Seal as well.
What a great story. So
If that ever happened.
I'm playing that music from movies trivia game Saturday night, and that song comes on. And I recognize the song, of course. Go ahead, Cubby. What movie was it from?
Well, I hope I'm not wrong. I thought it was Batman Forever.
You're right.
Okay.
I wrote down Spider Nuts.
Oh, that's close enough.
I wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, sure, Marvel versus DC, but still, you're awful close.
I never saw Batman's Forever. But I did see Spider-Man back in the day with What was that kid's name?
Tobey Maguire?
Yeah. So I got that one wrong, but I won the contest overall.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice job.
I did. But
did you get a prize and everything?
I got a gift card.
Sweet.
But I was thinking about you there Saturday night when that came over the loudspeakers, and Roger that said, name the movie that this song is from. And God dang it, I thought it was Spider Nuts, but it was Batman's Forever.
You didn't happen to tell anybody around you why you were kind of chuckling at that?
I told one of them, I was shooting pocket billiards with some old Vietnam vet. I told him you love Seal.
You told an American hero what I...
Yeah, you should have seen how deeply he rolled his eyes. Because he listens to the show. He knows who you are.
No.
Now he has very little respect for you.
I don't blame him.
One of the others, let's see if you... boots are made for walking, and that's just what they do. What movie?
I know
One
the
of
song.
these days, these boots are gonna...
Nancy Sinatra, right? Austin Powers.
See, that should have also been accepted, I think, because that song fell into line in Austin Powers when the fembots
Yeah, that's
attacked
right. Yeah, it's a fembot tune.
But no, they were looking for, and I should have gotten this because I've watched this movie 400 times.
Did you put Austin Powers too?
I did. I got that one
As
incorrect
well,
too. I wrote Austin Powers. What I'd forgot, where they were going for was Full Metal Jacket. You know, the Me So Horny.
Oh, yeah.
The Me So Horny scene
Yeah.
when the hooker approaches Private Joker. It's boots are me. It was a fun time, but I had to throw.
Sometimes me get horny. I don't know if you knew that. Sometimes me get so horny.
Ew.
Not now. Although I got to be honest, Dana, I hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
When Nick was talking about Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man, I was picturing you and I doing that upside-down kiss.
Oh, that'd be hot stuff. I would like that.
Totally
Oh
disgusting.
my gosh, that was so cool when I was younger. Spider-Man kiss.
Really? I thought that was kind of silly.
Yeah, but if we were at that movie, wouldn't we walk out if those two did that kiss? If Dana and Josh did that, we'd walk out of the theater.
100%.
Yeah,
I'd
that'd
leave
be
him there.
disgusting.
Can you imagine that? Ugh.
Oh, God.
I'm not Dana's type. I'm all right with that.
That's I think you're fine with that.
They played. One was a full-on guess, and I got it right. They played "I'm a Believer" by the Monkees, and I wrote down Shrek.
Oh, good
Yeah.
call.
Even though
Classic.
you know the movie Shrek, Ashley.
Yes.
Never saw it.
Oh, they're coming
But-
out with a new one.
But I
saw that.
remembered that a Daydream Believer got a push sometime when Shrek first became a thing. All of a sudden, everyone wanted to not Daydream Believer. I'm a Believer. Sorry, I'm a Believer.
That's the only one I would have gotten. I suck at even noticing the music that's playing in movies, but Shrek, that was burned into my brain.
I dig it.
I loved the second Shrek. That was my
it's the-
favorite Shrek.
It's the best one.
When they did the Cops parody called Knights. Yeah. Oh, that was brilliant. That was. Did you guys ever see the test tapes with Chris Farley?
Yes.
No.
That's
When
crazy.
when he was voicing Shrek.
Yeah.
Explain this to me.
So he tried out for Shrek, and I don't know. I can't remember why they didn't.
He was casted.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. mhm.
Okay.
He was originally cast. He was going to be the voice of Shrek, Chris Farley, and then he died.
Oh, so that was when he died.
And then the movie got put on the shelf for a little bit, and then Mike Myers ended up stepping up and taking the role.
Okay, I didn't know that's when he
Sad.
died.
All right. So you got to help me out because I've never seen the movie. Shrek is a alien,
Ogre.
Ogre.
an ogre, and in the movie he was voiced by.
Mike Myers.
And who was the other character?
Well, Donkey was played by
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. So Farley could have had the job, but he upped and died.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that was around the time of his death.
Oh, he would have been such a good Shrek.
You can find it online.
I'll have to check that out.
Hey, baby, you got girlfriend in Vietnam? I'm getting text messages with quotes from Full Metal Jacket now from listeners, which I appreciate a lot. Dark movie, of course, but I love it.
Yeah, it was a tough watch at times.
Oh.
Sure.
What else is going on, Cubby? Did I forget anything?
Well, yeah, like you mentioned, big month around here.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about like Dana's wedding coming up and kind of plans around that.
All right.
It's-
It's just a day or two after your birthday.
Yeah, I'm kind of being forced to have a party for it, and that was why I came up. I was texting Dana to see his availability.
Oh.
His wedding, for whatever reason, is taking precedent over anything else. Around
Ridiculous.
That time. I know.
If it was a first wedding, I would count that as legit, but it's his second.
That's the way I looked at it.
So wait a minute. Are you telling us now that there are plans in the works for you to have a 50th birthday party?
Well, it's kind of flattering. The big kids want to do something.
Oh, that's fun. They're going to make it awesome.
Yeah, they are.
We were out. We had all the family was out yesterday. We're going to go watch a Red Sox game coming up in early May. So we're planning to go to Boston to watch the Twins play the Red Sox.
You got together to discuss
To
that.
plan that, and then that came up too.
Your birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so there's going to be something
It sounds that way, yeah.
to where you're inviting coworkers and such.
Correct.
Well, that's going to be fun.
It's such a tricky thing, Josh, because everybody wants to make a big deal about your birthday because it's a big one. It's 50th. Everybody loves you. But we also know the best present we could possibly give you is to not even acknowledge it at all.
That's what I told her. My wife asked what I want.
Not this time, Dana.
No,
Not
yeah,
this time.
that's what I mean.
I want to beat your ass to death. I want to liquor you up. I want to rock and roll. Let's mosh. Let's do things that we haven't done in decades.
They're planning all that.
Yeah, this is about us, Josh, not you.
I want you to end up in a stretcher at your 50th birthday. So this time I don't want to let you off the hook. That's exciting. It's very exciting. It's not going to be one of these, from 1 to 4 p.m. type deals or something weak like that.
It's 1 to 3. It's dry. No alcohol.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. You did that for me, right?
Is that the Egan Library?
Well, actually, can't you just, for me, for one day, even though you're pregnant, just get real hammered?
I could do that for you, Josh. Yeah.
I want you
my future honorary nephew comes out with 3 arms.
Oh, my gosh. I would get so sick.
And a hunchback. He looks like Shrek.
I want you to have one hell of an overhang after your 50th birthday party. So that's exciting news.
Yeah, so they're looking at doing it on a Friday night, and unfortunately, that's when Dana's groom's dinner is. But you don't need to be at the groom's dinner as the groom, do you?
No. Sorry, Amber. Something came up.
The groom's dinner.
You seemed awful suspicious when I texted you last night on that.
Oh, I was just wondering what was up.
Yeah, what's going on? I wanted to know.
By the end of this month, we're going to be partied out. We're going to be partied out. We're going to have a hell of a month now that we've mentioned everything that's going on. For now, we should get moving in the right direction. Monday morning, stupid news will be coming up around the corner here in a few minutes on the Half-Ass Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
You know, we were jaw-jacking up and down a few minutes ago, talking about Cubby's big 50th birthday party coming up at the end of the month.
Getting old.
It's big news. We found out that there will be a keg party for this milestone event. You weren't sure about it, as we've been bothering you up and down. You're turning 50 at the end of the month. Is someone going to throw you a bash? We found out, yes, it's going to happen. And I think that's just wonderful. You deserve it. Questions from our listeners. At your party, Josh, one listener hopes, I guess this isn't so much of a question as it is a hope. They hope that you'll turn heel like John Cena did over the weekend.
Well, I told you, I didn't need the attention or want the attention. This is, other people want to do this. It's very sweet. They want to. I can tell you I might, because I'm a little apprehensive for a few reasons. One of the biggest ones is the last time I was at a 50th birthday party, that's when I realized I didn't know how to hold a beer cool. And, like when you're taking a picture and you don't know what to do with your hands?
Yeah.
It was that exact same thing.
You do not know how to hold a beer, although since that 50th birthday party that you last went to, I think you've practiced a few times.
Yeah, you gave me some pointers.
Yeah.
I had to ask some 18-year-olds I saw walking down the street, hey, can you give me an idea how to hold a beer? They were very good at it.
Yeah, you'll be all right this time around. You've warmed up to the idea as to how to hold a beer. But I think that would be tremendous if you turned heel at your 50th birthday. I would be who you would turn on, I would imagine, since I'm your closest and oldest friend. So I
no,
picture.
There's no way. I can't. I'm going to turn on my wife.
Oh, okay. She'd be a good target, too.
I can't turn on you.
Okay, so your wife is carrying the birthday cake across the room. The candles are lit. We're all singing. And then you dump her on that stack of dimes she calls a neck. Boom.
Yeah.
That would be awesome entertainment for a lot of us.
I'm also going to make sure she bakes the cake, and so she just put all this time and energy into it. She's exhausted. She's Googling how to make the perfect cake, all that kind of stuff. Can I practice real quick holding a beer, and you tell me if I look cool?
Is there a bottle in the room?
I got a water bottle.
We actually have beer in here.
Well,
there's a case
Here,
of beer
let me
right
grab
there.
you one.
Well, but that's canned beer. Does it matter to you, Josh? Grab him a canned beer.
Right.
He probably needs to know how to hold a canned beer, too.
That's true.
Just for future references, or maybe wherever your 50th party only has canned beer.
Oh, these are big.
Yeah, those are tall boys, man.
Okay, 16-ounce Northeast. Okay, Josh is leaning up against the rail here in our studio. What you're doing right now is perfect.
Is it really?
Yes, the way you're holding. Now, your pose is obnoxious. Don't be leaning up against. You look like Christmas and whatever the characters from Dumb and Dumber when the one puts out the vibe.
Yeah, put the vibe out.
No leg up on a table. Put your leg down. You're not a youth softball coach.
Yeah,
you don't put your foot up on the rail.
You look like the teacher who's trying to be cool there.
And don't smell the beer and react negatively. Go back to where you were, the way you were holding it for. No, not your pose. Just the way. Stand normally. The way you're holding the beer right there. Move your hand down a little bit towards the middle of the can. That a little higher.
I choke up a little bit on it?
That's perfect.
There you go.
That's perfect. Don't hold it at the very tippy top like it's hot or something. Okay. Don't hold it down at the bottom like it's, right there in the middle.
You could loosen your grip a little. It looks like you're...
Relaxed grip.
There you go.
Do less.
Now try to take a sip. See what that looks like.
Hey, you look like you know what you're doing when you take a drink.
Yeah.
He drinks canned soda.
Looks great.
Ben,
Which side is up?
The opening is the upside. We're teaching Josh how to hold a beer here before his 50th birthday. Relax your elbow a little bit.
My right?
Relax your right elbow, the one that's holding. Yes, there you go.
Perfect. You look perfect right there.
Yes.
Yep.
For a minute there, you were holding the beer up in the middle of your chest, not necessarily more of a relaxed elbow to where the beer is down around your stomach. You can go even lower than where you're at right now.
What about my left hand?
Perfect.
Pocket's good?
Yeah,
Left
that looks
hand in your
good.
pocket is fine. You're good. You're ready for the end of the month when you turn 50.
Beautiful.
I'm going to take a sip out of this.
You're going to take a sip out of what now?
Crack open a brewski here.
A little early for that, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, he's turned 50 this month. He can do what he wants.
All right, this is a Mountain Dew.
Another listener wants to know, Josh, just for old times, will you wear a turtleneck sweater to your 50th birthday party?
No, I'm not going to do that. I still have painful memories from that.
We will all wear turtlenecks in your honor. At
Oh
your 50th
my gosh.
birthday
That'd be
party.
awesome.
Dude, I would love that, Dana. Let's do it.
Hey, are you going to be showing by then, Ashley? At the end of the month?
Yeah, I'm already starting to.
Are you
a little.
really?
Yep.
You wear these baggy clothes. Can't really tell.
Yeah, I'm trying to because I'm at that kind of that awkward stage where I could be pregnant or I could be just putting on a couple pounds.
You know what? We worked with somebody, a very good friend of mine, and she hadn't told anybody. She wasn't telling anybody. And I thought at first, because she got, she started showing almost immediately. It was crazy, real quick. And so I thought the same thing. She was just putting on weight because her face got bigger.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Yep, that can happen.
You-
Swell up a little bit.
You don't look any different.
Yeah, I've been trying to stay on top of the water and not, it's been so hard, not eat as much salt as I usually do.
Oh, that's
and I
gonna be
think that's
killer.
been helping.
I'm eating enough salt for the both of us.
Thank you.
Showing, huh? That ought to be something when that kicks in.
I can't wait to use it as a table.
Oh, that's what I got to do. Get a big gut, and I can just rest the beer on there.
Yeah.
You see, that's
Bowl of soup.
that's a damn badge of honor for a real beer drinker when they grow that beer gut enough to where they can sit their beer upon it, whether standing or sitting. That's maybe you'll be there one day, Josh, but we just got to take baby steps for now.
Who do you think the best is at holding a beer? Would it be Big Al? I always thought Big Al looked kind of cool holding the beer.
You know what? If you really want to know, The way Big Al holds a beer is trouble in one circumstance, and that's when they serve tap beer. Because the sumbitch has a bad habit of tipping it forward. Now, he has one of those bellies where he can kind of rest his beer on it, but he has this bad habit of tipping it forward. That's the comfortable stance for him. So when it's a tap beer, eventually, after he's had a few, sometimes someone has to walk up and say, hey, straighten that beer out. You're spilling it all over your shoes. He has a tendency to tip it forward, but he is excellent and one of the most experienced beer drinkers that I know. Yeah, it's just when a tap beer is involved, it can get a little sloppy.
I've seen that before. Yeah. People that, and why do they do that? They
I don't know.
It's
just comfortable for them to turn their wrist over a little bit and the beer kind of tips forward. In a can or a bottle, no problem, but with a tap, it gets a little greasy where he's standing.
You know how you watch somebody and let's say a basketball player and it's effortless, the dribbling. Versus somebody who's not good at it, it's completely obvious. That's how he is with the beer. He's so smooth with that.
It's natural. Yeah, I mean, he's a professional, and he has been since he was a kid. Growing up with beer drinkers and cigarette smokers, did you have, and you had a cigarette smoking family too, Josh, did you have anyone in your circle of cigarette smoking family or cigarette smoking friends that could let that sumbitch just hang on to the lower lip of the smoker? That cigarette would just dangle. And when they'd talk, it would bounce like a sumbitch, and it would never let go.
I've seen it, but none of the people that I was around regularly. Because, I had 4 adult smokers in the house, and they didn't talk with the cigarettes in their mouth.
My dad's old buddy, the Dirty Beauty. The Dirty Beauty could put a full cigarette up against his lower lip, and it would point straight down, but it would never fall. And he was able to talk, and I'm telling you, that thing would whip around like one of those inflatable characters at the car dealership.
Yes.
And it would not fall off of his lower lip. He was
impressive.
Such a friggin' pro. And as a kid, I just thought, that is the coolest look on planet Earth.
Yeah, my dad looks pretty cool when he smokes a cigarette. He's got it down.
Yeah.
He's like that. He can keep it in his mouth and tell you a whole story, and you're just looking at him in disbelief.
My dad could blow the smoke rings, which I always thought was cool.
I've always been impressed by that.
Pros are pros. All right, stupid news. Our first for the month of March. Are you prepared to start this sumbitch off with another gruesome selfie death? I'm starting to think that the only chance we've got to stop the selfie from killing us all, the only chance we've got is Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor. Because much like a Terminator, a selfie can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop ever until you are dead. What movie? Terminator, what year? 1984. We need Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor. A tourist lady messing around on a fast-moving train in a place called Sri Lanka. Got her brains bashed in while going ahead with a selfie. The train is whipping down the tracks. Can you picture this so far, Ashley?
Yep.
The train is whipping down the tracks, don't you know? The gal is hanging off the side of the train, so her hair can whip in the wind, and there's beautiful scenery all around out in the jungles of Sri Lanka. Beautiful setting for a selfie. The
Absolutely.
train, it sounds beautiful.
Yes.
The train rounds a corner. The lady was hanging a little too far out the train. Suddenly, there's a rock wall along the tracks. She wraps her skull into a rock, and it killed her dead.
Oh,
but that was
the
messy.
Pain. At least
That's
you don't,
how it played out.
The only upside is that you don't really have time to think about how stupid you feel.
That's true.
I suppose
Your eggs are pretty scrambled, I'd imagine, after that.
This gal was no kid. She was 53 years old, by the name of Olga. Morbidly, one or two of those selfies she took right before her head was bashed in are making their way around the godless internet. Who made these available?
She could have been live, I guess.
I never thought of that. Okay. Because what I was wondering was, she's taking a selfie. What, did some member of her family gather up the phone and then make it available online? That would be an interesting move. Who knows? Emergency personnel were able to toss what was left of Olga into an ambulance and take her off to the hospital, but the shot she took to her brain pan was too much for them to correct.
I'm looking at the picture that's going around, and it looks like somebody else took the picture for her.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it was available.
Yeah, I was wondering if, same thing, Ashley, they took the picture, posted it, took the picture, posted it.
It is a very beautiful picture.
So it was worth it, you're saying?
No.
Well, there you go, the selfie. It absolutely will not stop, ever. Until you are dead. That's a great scene from The Terminator, by the way, when Kyle Reese finally unloads on the cops, and kind of tells them what's what with the Terminator.
I do love those first two movies.
It got another one.
I like these, all these selfie deaths, kind of, you Darwin, right? And then you just kind of, they're made fun of, rightfully so. But I was just thinking today, we used to do a ton of really stupid stuff, and some of it we would video. So maybe we're not any better than what's going on now.
Well, how did you get away with it?
How did we survive? I don't know. I
got
guess
lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to middle school during the backyard wrestling era, where we would film ourselves going through, sheetrock or tables and hitting each other with chairs and jumping off roofs. We didn't do it for social media. We did it for the love of the game.
For whatever reason, it seems more silly. But yeah, I suppose now it's more clout versus just you're doing something and you want to record it.
Boy, yeah. I feel lucky that I was too old when backyard wrestling became wildly popular, because I would have ended up dead.
I could picture you and some buddies getting really into it.
Now, we did wrestle at home, and I did survive a full-on pile driver on our kitchen floor delivered to me by my brother. So we were doing all that stuff in the house. We just didn't have a video camera, and if we would have put it out there, no one would have cared. But that backyard wrestling stuff was, you had guys jumping off rooftops and hitting each other with lawnmower blades and whatnot. It was, I would have been dead, because I certainly would have wanted to prove to everyone that I was every bit as super fly as Jimmy Snuka.
For those of us who are pre-Jackass, I mean, how many times did you and your buddies probably say, why didn't we think of this? Because we used to do a lot of, they're way more extreme, but there was a lot of stuff they did that we were into as well.
We did everything but the bottle rockets up the butt.
So there's a lot of that kind of stuff, and
right.
Those guys just made it huge.
I don't know why they were so obsessed with each other's anuses. We didn't go that route.
And balls.
God help us, Josh, before I get to this next story, we were talking about professional drinkers and professional cigarette smokers. Iowa hillbilly Jesus says his mother can smoke a cigarette start to finish and let the thing burn all the way out without dropping any ash, and talk at the same time. She does it every day, and no one can figure out how she does it. Yes, that long-standing, stubborn ash that won't break.
That's impressive.
That, not something you see every day, even from professional cigarette smokers. How she does it, Iowa hillbilly Jesus, I don't know. I've seen it a few times. All right, what was I saying? In Berlin, F me running Germany, Josh, someone painted an enormous penis on the roof of an elementary school, and the entire city has gone into an effing panic.
This is up on 93x.com.
And it's a hell of a penis.
It is. It's good size.
Now, I believe I'm being accurate here, but there's a weird twist. I believe the reason the city of Berlin is in a panic to cover up the mega dong up on the rooftop of a local elementary school is because they've just learned that it's been up there for 3 effing years. And I'll get back to that in a minute. Ashley, you've already answered a very important question for us. And that is, there is enough room on our website to include a picture of what they're calling here the Titanic of penile art.
Yeah, I wasn't able to post anything else because it took up so much space.
It took up all the room available on our...
Yeah, that's the Jonah Falcon of penis art right there. That is gigantic.
Back in the day, folks called the Titanic the ship of dreams, Josh. This painted penis, this is the prick of dreams.
It is.
So here's the deal. Folks in Berlin are saying that the dong, with balls, was painted atop the school back in the year 20 and 22. But nobody noticed a damn thing until just recently when someone checked out the overhead view of the school on, how do you say it, Google Maps. So that's the Hindenburg of painted peckers. Measures a whopping 65 feet long.
Oh, imagine being the person that did this. I'd be so proud that they didn't know about it for so long.
So large, it's visible on Google Maps.
You're right, Ashley. That person is selfless. They gave the world that and didn't want any credit whatsoever.
It's impressive.
It is.
Some folks say it looks like a chalk outline, like in the old movies where the cops would draw a chalk outline around a dead body. Nobody's sure who the talented artist is or was. I mean, hell, it's been 3 years. It was probably a high school-age kid who's moved the hell out of town by now. Authorities have painted over the nuts and the tip, knowing if they cover up those parts, then it's just 2 long white lines painted on the roof. Phallic vandalism is very popular the last few years. It's fun, and everyone goes home a winner.
I can appreciate that.
Check this out on 93x.com. Oh, the huge manatee is a comment from one of our listeners. I'll be damned. No one noticed it for 3 years, huh?
I suppose they're not going up there too often.
And if you are standing on the roof, you might not notice or realize that that's what it is. You kind of need that bird's eye perspective.
I don't know. It's pretty bright white with thick lines drawn. I don't know.
I think you'd notice the balls.
Yeah,
if
definitely.
If you go up there, I don't know how the hell you don't notice. It's like a black, dirty roof and this perfectly white. Maybe in Germany they only have to check the roof every 10 years. That's building code over there. I don't know.
The annual penis check.
A lot of articles and conversation about cheating and cheaters have ended up in our laps lately, almost as if infidelity is really starting to take off around here. Here's a single gal for you who goes by the name of Dahlia Grande, and she goes out on a date or two now and again. She does. She's not interested in married men. But how can she be sure when she's out on a date that the dude she's out with isn't a married man trying to turn her into his latest side piece? Well, she says she's got a gimmick that will help reveal the truth. And she's, of course, posted this all on social media. Before she goes out with a feller, Ashley, tell me what you think of this. Being a woman, as my dad used to say. I don't know why he pronounced it that way, but he said woman. Before she goes out with a feller, she always covers her body in glitter. And she's got videos on social media where she explains all this. Her theory is that if the dode is married, he won't try to get fresh with her because the glitter would get all over him, and in turn, his wife would know he was with another woman. You see the route that she's taken here?
Yeah, I get it. That's weird. That's very weird.
I'd get caught because I would never consider that. I would never, ever consider that.
Personally, married or not, if I was out on a date with this gal, I'd likely never lay a hand on her because seeing her covered in glitter, I would assume that she's completely out of her mind.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I don't want anything to do with glitter. I have a couple glitter eyeshadows, and those even piss me off.
I was going to say, there's like glitter body spray that I've seen people for. It doesn't seem like it's as popular anymore. But
I would ask, are you a 4-year-old who just got done playing dress up with your aunt or something? Why are you covered in glitter? That would be a massive red flag to me.
That's something you learn very young from your mom yelling at you that you don't use glitter like that.
I got glitter bombed at a haunted house a few years back, and that glitter is still in the carpet of the place I lived in at the time. You cannot get it off.
No, it's forever, Dana.
Mm-hmm. They say it's the herpes of, what's the line, Josh? The herpes
arts
of
and crafts
arts
or
and
something
crafts.
like that.
So the 8th graders and social media dorks all seem to like her idea. Again, when she goes out on a date, she covers herself in glitter. The reason for that is she does not want to date married men, and a married man will not lay a hand on her covered in glitter because his wife would find out. That's the route she takes. One person said that amount of glitter spray will repel married men, along with mosquitoes, bears, and vampires.
A lot of married men wouldn't even think twice about it.
I would never think that was a trap. I'd be caught for sure.
You would maul her. The two of you would
if I was
fold, and you wouldn't think, oh, God, I'm going to have to get rid of all this glitter before I get home.
No.
Most men don't even think about perfume
No.
or lipstick
No.
or anything.
You know, maybe prolific cheaters do, though.
Right.
Maybe people who
That's a good point.
cheat, they do think of all this kind of stuff.
some veterans.
Yeah.
That's why they're so good at it.
I mean, your typical drunk donkey cheating on his wife, yeah, he's going to get physical with a woman no matter what she's covered in. But a regular cheater, how did you say it, Josh? A
Just an
prolific
experienced
cheater
one.
who knows
This is their thing.
the routines of things like throwing your underwear immediately into the wash after you cheat. These are some things that I've heard about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd
What
give
else?
myself a horse bath. Like, that's something I would think of.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think of perfume or glitter.
Step 1, you wash your D in the sink.
Right.
Step 2, you check for marks on your body. Step 3, this is how to cover your tracks when you cheat. Check for marks all over. I mean, I'm telling you, all over your body. Step 3, wash your underwears. Also in there, I mean, in no particular order. Check the car, wherever you were, the bed for jewelry. Am I missing anything, Josh? You've cheated.
I've never cheated.
I'm sorry, you're currently cheating.
No, I'm not. I'm not cheating at all. Did I
maybe
answer
throw-
that too quickly?
No,
Nowadays,
you're good.
Nowadays, you have to put in, make sure your phone is clean.
Delete all your text messages. Yeah.
Make sure you're not sharing your location with anybody.
Maybe chew some gum.
Oh, yeah, sure. Fresh breath is a good one. TikTok dorks have posted videos before showing how they use glitter to keep tabs on their men. TikTok ladies. One gal put glitter up under the passenger side sun visor of her boyfriend's car. So anyone riding shotgun, specifically a side hoe looking to touch up her makeup in the mirror, would end up splashing glitter all over her boyfriend's vehicle.
Oh, my fiance would kill me. He uses that visor to put papers up there and stuff.
I say do it anyway.
Oh, I would get hurt.
You're carrying his child. What's he going to do?
That's a good point.
You said something about perfume. Here's a gal who said, one time I sprayed my perfume while I was in a guy's car, and he got mad because he wouldn't be able to get the smell out before he picked up his next date. Stay safe, ladies, she said. So that was a little test, I guess, she was doing. Spray some of her perfume in the car to see how the guy reacted. And the guy said, hey, don't do that. I got another date at midnight, something. And she thought, oh, so you're a whore, right? That was a little test she did.
I don't know, if you think you have to go to those, what are they? I'm forgetting the word.
Car wash.
If you feel like you have to go to those lengths, so yeah.
Lengths. Sorry, I don't know why I thought car wash.
understandable. We're talking about cars.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, just don't date.
Just break up with somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not the right one for you.
Yep.
I don't
If you start questioning that kind of stuff, it's not going to work out.
I always thought the number one sign is they start getting in shape. If you're going to get cheated on.
That's the old joke.
I mean, I don't think it's a joke. I mean, every guy I know that's left his wife, he started out by getting a gym membership. And then if it overlapped with the new person, it was always getting in shape.
Yep. That's so funny because a couple of months ago, I noticed that my fiance was like eating more healthy.
Oh, no.
And I was like, yo, dude, what's up? Like, you got somebody on the side? What's going on?
Right.
What do you mean you don't want chicken Alfredo for the third night in a row? But realistically, it was just like, well, I'm just trying to be healthier. Like, I eat like crap, Ashley.
Ugh.
And then actually, I think maybe a week later, I was like, oh, what'd you have for lunch today? He's like, oh, I had a big, juicy burger just to prove to you that I'm not cheating on you. It's like, oh,
What a
gosh.
manly man.
It's like he's going to use that bit for a while.
Well, here's the deal. He's been eating healthier, huh? Next time he introduces you to a female work friend, check her teeth for broccoli and whatnot.
Who is this hoe?
Yeah. I saw the broccoli in her teeth. I smelled the cauliflower on her. Effing China again, Josh. And I'm not following this one. This one has me thrown. Someone help me if you can. There's a new trend for the young ladies in China. The young gals are having pictures taken of themselves where they're wearing fake silicone bellies to make them look pregnant. And it says here, they're doing this to make sure they look their best in their pregnancy photos, even though they aren't pregnant yet. So tell me if I'm understanding this. They take the fake pregnant pictures now and then say 5 or 6 years down the road, when they actually get pregnant, they show the fake pregnant pictures to people so folks will say, wow, she's really hot. Is that it?
Or just for themselves. I mean, there was a trend for a while, maybe still going on, but where when people first got married, maybe the wife would take some provocative photos so they can look back on their 50th anniversary and say, hey, look what you married, that kind of thing. Like there was my wife's friend was a photographer, and she had a lot of clients that would do that kind of thing. When they first got married, they take some sexy photos for each other.
Okay.
That's actually what I'm getting all of you guys for my wedding, is giving you sexy photos of me.
Yeah, but that should have been like 20 years ago.
That's a good point.
You've passed the prime.
So you're saying they take fake pregnancy photos just so they can look back and say, look how hot I was when I was pregnant, even though I wasn't pregnant?
I'm suggesting that maybe that's part of it for
Okay.
themselves. But yeah, they also could be on social media.
The story here says that this is a, quote, craze that's been sweeping the nation. China, we're talking about. Again, Chinese women in their early 20s pay for fake pregnancy photos while they still look hot and young, because later in life, when they get pregnant for real skis, they may not look so good at that point, I guess. Says here the so-called pre-made maternity photos started gaining steam on effing Chinese social media after a popular influencer did it first. That's right, the sheeple keep following the lead of the so-called influencers. One Chinese woman said that she took her fake fat-bellied pregnancy pictures when she was 22, just in case she got wrinkles by the time she hit 30.
What does she think 30 is like 60? What is
I don't know. She was
Exactly.
She was asked if she planned to be pregnant at around 30 years of age, and she said she and her boyfriend would have to slightly alter their approach if they ever wanted to make a baby, because they only do anal.
You could still get pregnant from anal.
What?
We've learned that before. Yeah, sometimes there's some travel.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Where we talked about that once in the stupid news?
I do
Oh,
not.
miracle
Yeah.
baby.
It was a miracle baby, yeah.
I'm the miracle butt baby.
Finally, the story here says silicone pregnancy bellies first became hot sellers in China over a decade ago when people started buying them as a joke just to see what they look like pregnant. They're different over there.
It doesn't feel right.
Are you taking any photos, Ashley, like professionally?
I actually completely forgot until now. I was planning on it, but
You were
I guess
planning
we'll
on
see.
it? Is that
Yeah.
what you thought about?
Yeah, people do that, right?
Is that
That's
a common
cute
thing? You know,
Yeah.
Women, wait till they're just about ready to pop, and then they take the picture of the look at the big bump.
Yeah.
Memories.
Did your wife do that?
No, no. We obviously have photos of her, but yeah, nothing professional.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's going to be Foligno and Kastelik. Foligno a right, Kastelik a right. Foligno a right that missed, Kastelik a right. These are two heavyweights. Kastelik a right, they spin. Kastelik another right. Foligno a right that missed. And both men go down.
I'll be damned. Did Markey get in a fight yesterday?
Yeah, I got in another fight.
He got in a fight.
That was a good one.
I missed it, for Christ's sake. And they had an opportunity for him to get another empty net goal. They had a 1-0 lead. The Bruins pulled the goalie. Maybe he didn't get any ice time, which would be a dick move by that head coach, Gene Snitsky. When you got a guy that's going for a friggin' all-time record, the other club pulls the goalie. Put Foligno on the ice. Pigs won 1-0 over the Boston Bruins yesterday. I'll be damned. They play, where the hell do they play? At the Totally Unnecessary tomorrow night. The high school hockey, the boys' high school hockey tournament starts this week. Did anyone's alma mater make the tournament?
Nah.
I don't. Well, you know what? I guess I'm not sure.
Well, I don't see it here, Josh.
No.
I don't think so.
No. Academy of Holy Angels? I don't see it here, Cubby. But that's always fun when the hockey tournament kicks in. Wolves played in Phoenix last night and got a win. I can't wait to tell this story when we get Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver into the mix. I can't wait to tell this harrowing story from spring training about three members of the Minnesota Twins damn near ended up dead a couple days ago.
It really affected them.
Don't look it up, Ashley. Ashley looks very worried right now. Don't look it up. It's a great story.
Oh, all right. I'm excited.
Yeah. What did you just say, Josh?
It really affected those guys.
And I was in a similar situation.
I know you were. I can understand.
This will affect anybody for quite a while. It's a great story. Before we go, because we got to take a break here for Cubby's News, we were talking about cheating, some of the things that guys might do to cover their tracks if they're cheating on their significant other. Washing your dong in the sink. Again, washing your dong in the sink. Sometimes you got to do it twice. Throwing your underwear away on the way before you get home. Checking the bed in the car for jewelry, random jewelry. Here's a listener says he knows a guy that got busted for cheating because the soap from the hotel gave him away. It didn't match the normal scent of the soap at home. Wow.
That's impressive.
I am so unobservant. I wouldn't notice any of this stuff.
You might notice it, but you'd never think the worst.
Yeah, I never would. Never. I mean, if there was if there was no whore's bath, maybe I'd notice something. But outside of that.
The wife came up on him and took a whiff, smelled that hotel room soap. Now, I will say hotel room soap does have a pretty significant scent.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. It does. I never thought of it until just now. I might know it, but when the hell did you go to a hotel? That's clearly hotel soap coming off your...
Finally, now I don't look so dumb for never using soap, do I?
There you go. Dirty hippie that you are. Don't go anywhere. Josh's news report's coming up next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Unprovoked, he starts kicking and ramming his head into the side of the car door of the police car, causing damage to our cop car. He turns around and spits into the face of one of our officers, into the arresting officer's face.
That's assault.
It is an assault.
A Michigan neighborhood got an unexpected dose of late-night entertainment of the chaotic and unhinged variety, courtesy of 41-year-old Jeremy Rose, who's now enjoying the hospitality of the local jail. For reasons known only to him and possibly a bottle of booze, Rose brought havoc instead of hot dish when he decided to revisit his old neighborhood and promptly lose his mind on his former neighbors. A police spokesman said he started by yelling hateful slurs at 2 young girls.
It goes from racial slurs to some other unintelligible comments about narcotics and some off-the-wall kind of things.
As neighbors peeked outside to witness the train wreck, Rose set his sights on a woman, grabbing her and chucking a liquor bottle at her home.
Oh.
That's when a concerned neighbor had enough, stepping in and putting Rose in a headlock.
He continued to engage and come onto the property of these people, and the altercation turned physical.
He just didn't want to listen. He was on his own plan. Whatever he was trying to do, trying to accomplish, we don't know, a police spokesperson said. The liquor bottle might explain part of it, but police suspect there could be more behind his violent outburst, and they're investigating that. When police arrived, he didn't go quietly. He thrashed, kicked, and reportedly rammed his head into the squad car, leaving a bloody gash on his forehead. Then, in one last act of world-class dickery, he spat in an officer's face.
In his face?
Right in his face.
Well, thanks for stopping by, bruh.
Yeah, welcome back to the neighborhood.
It is.
We missed you.
Yeah, it had been a while. How you been doing?
A suspected drunk driver plowed into a fence surrounding a Richfield preschool Thursday night, leaving behind a mess of twisted metal, but fortunately no injuries. Police responded to the crash at Primrose School of South Minneapolis and Richfield about 8:15 p.m., where they found a cargo van had slammed into the fence, enclosing the school's playground. The driver, a 43-year-old man, was arrested at the scene on suspicion of drunk driving. Despite the significant damage left in his wake, no one was hurt. Hennepin County jail records show the man remains in custody, facing potential DWI charges.
Oh, great. Now the fence is ruined. All the preschoolers are going to get out.
They're running around like crazy.
Got to tag him.
Looks like a Wisconsin man is really committed to his hobby. Unfortunately, that hobby is racking up OWI charges, and now he has 14 of them.
Wow.
The 69-year-old was pulled over last week after deputies spotted his car with an equipment violation about 9:20 p.m. last Monday.
Oh, his cars aren't well kept?
I guess not. But it turns out the real malfunction wasn't the car, it was the driver. During the stop, the deputy quickly noticed the man was showing all the classic signs of impairment. A deeper investigation confirmed what the deputy suspected. He was under the influence yet again. And to make matters worse, he wasn't just driving poorly, he was driving illegally. He did not have a valid license, as you can imagine. He must be a slow learner. He's already the proud owner of his 13 previous OWI convictions, making this the 14th.
That's about enough of you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. At one point, do you think maybe I got to walk or get a bike or something?
Just doesn't enter some people's minds, Cubby.
No, too proud. Distracted by his girlfriend's FaceTime flash, a drunk and horny Indiana driver got his car stuck on some railroad tracks, narrowly escaping before a train smashed right into it. The crash and his arrest might not have happened if he hadn't been wasted while FaceTiming a woman who decided to expose her breasts.
Is that right? Nice.
While he's driving.
Very kind. Around 2 a.m. the morning after the Super Bowl, 27-year-old Zachariah Virgil was on his way to his girlfriend's house when he got sidetracked by his girlfriend, who showed him her boobies, leading him to accidentally get train tracked. I couldn't help but get distracted, he later admitted to investigators.
Oh, what, you never seen your girlfriend topless before, for Christ's sake?
It can be distracting. His car, as I mentioned, ended up stranded on those tracks despite his frantic attempts to push the vehicle to safety. An oncoming freight train slammed into the abandoned car and totaled it.
Dude.
The woman later picked him up, but as they were driving away from the scene, an officer pulled him over. Turns out he wasn't just distracted, he was absolutely hammered.
Oh.
Police measured his blood alcohol at .273, and they noticed a burnt marijuana smell in his wrecked vehicle.
He was so drunk, he was crazy about the sight of his own girlfriend's boobs.
He was drunk, he was high, and he was horny. A disturbing sex scheme has surfaced in Pennsylvania. One man's twisted offer of free glasses in exchange for sex, and authorities believe there may be several victims. 42-year-old Brian Steiner, an optical shop worker, used his position to lure customers into the back of the store, offering free eyewear as a cover for his predatory behavior. He's now facing a slew of charges, including multiple counts of sexual assault, indecent assault, false imprisonment, and making threats while promising the world's worst loyalty program, free glasses in exchange for sexual acts.
In return, he would give out free glasses and waive charges and co-pays. Steiner admitted to police he had received or performed sexual acts inside the business at least 30 different times.
Boy, people don't want to pay for glasses.
No, they must be expensive. I've never had them.
That's disgusting. I was going to ask you, Josh, could you be lured into a dark back room by the idea of free eyeglasses?
No.
No.
No, I couldn't.
I guess it depends how poor you are and how bad your vision is.
Maybe that's it, Nick. They didn't realize they're so blind.
They didn't know where they were.
No, they thought they were walking into a well-lit, safe space.
I thought I was with my mother. Who are you?
Officials have yet to disclose how many victims have already come forward, but they suspect there could be more.
That's crazy
Yuck.
work.
Free
dude.
eyeglasses. I'll follow you anywhere.
Would you? Let's say you came up with that idea. I think as far as I'd go is, boy, that'd be cool if anybody would be that interested to trade sex for eyeglasses. I would never even broach the topic. An Oklahoma toddler called 911 last week with a confections crisis. The 3-year-old needed emergency donuts. The Moore Police Department shared audio of the call where the dispatcher played along with the pint-sized caller's craving.
Hello? Donuts? I want donuts. Are you going to share your donuts?
I'm taking your mommy.
You're going to take me to mommy now?
What much is these donuts? Yes.
Turns out the toddler used an old cell phone, which couldn't do much other than call 911. And in this case, he used the phone for what he believed was a true donut emergency, and it worked. The next day, the department fulfilled the kid's request and had officers deliver a box of donuts to his home.
That's
See,
adorable.
I hate when they do that, because if I called the cops and made a donut joke, they'd arrest me. But a 3-year-old, they come over and give him what he wants.
You're jealous of a 3-year-old.
I am. We'd get a beating over that, Dana, and you know it. But yet they come over all cutesy and give this kid what he wants. He committed a felony.
I don't know that it's a felony.
Throw the book at him.
That's a felony. Did he have a drunk uncle put him up to that or something? Doesn't it kind of too much of a coincidence that a kid's calling the cops about donuts?
I don't know. Was he making a joke? Who knows?
Is something burning in this room right now?
It smells like something's burning.
Do you smell that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do.
This could be it for us.
Wait, I do too now, and I'm not even in the same room as you guys.
Rest in peace.
And this will sound strange if you're a new listener, but it's true. When I say, another fire in the building?
Yeah. I mean, is it hazy or is that my mind playing tricks on me?
Hazy?
Yeah, does it seem like it's kind of getting
Don't ask
hazy?
me. I'm not in my
I
right
don't
mind.
see haze. I don't see haze. But I do smell something burning. Stay tuned. This could be a hell of a day.
In a prophecy even the Bible didn't see coming, thieves made off with a painting of the 10 Commandments, including the rather explicit instruction of thou shalt not steal, but St. Andrew's Church in Little Steeping, England said somebody did just that. Police noted the irony of the commandment-breaking nature of the crime. The divine art heist involved 3 paintings, each encased in heavy wood frames and adorned with sacred texts like the Lord's Prayer, which, in a stroke of luck for the theological thieves, does happen to mention forgiveness. While investigators couldn't determine their monetary worth, they emphasized the stolen pieces had held some deep sentimental value for the church and its congregation.
Well, ain't that something?
Workers at the History Center of Freeborn County... Uh-oh.
What?
My mic just cut out there.
That was weird.
Really?
Yeah. What happened?
I'm concerned.
Didn't touch anything.
Part of the you didn't touch anything?
Is something gonna blow up, dude?
I don't know.
Hey, man, we could be looking at a day off here. In a matter of minutes, we could be looking at a day off.
Well, you know what? Even if this place catches fire, it's better than what happened there in Freeborn County. Apparently, somebody dropped off some grenades in a collection there, live grenades.
Oh, like at the, how do you call it, the Goodwill?
Yeah, I got another Goodwill company. This was at the History Center, which was almost history. They shared the story on Facebook last week, saying they had a little excitement on Wednesday. 3 live grenades were found in a collection, prompting a call to the St. Paul Police Department bomb squad for removal. Scary for sure, but these ladies loved it.
Quite honestly, it was a little unnerving, right? Yes. But it was pretty cool. I mean,
They're having a good time.
They seem fun to work
They
with.
had a great sense of humor about it.
Caught them at happy hour.
Oh, you won't believe what happened in the office today.
According to the Albert Lee Police Department, items like these are occasionally reported after veterans pass away.
Police department does get these, I wouldn't say regularly, but it's not uncommon either.
Homes are cleaned and trophies are found, a police social media post says, adding that if you find anything like this, a call to 911 is the way to go. Last January in Wisconsin, a World War II era grenade was discovered in a box of items donated to Goodwill. In that case, the Japanese-made grenade was safely detonated by the bomb squad. And just last week in Maine, employees at a Goodwill store there found a hand grenade in a donation box, forcing an evacuation.
Many New Englanders might have antique weaponry in their homes, especially if somebody's cleaning out somebody's old home and something can easily get accidentally donated. There's certain things that we cannot accept, and this is one of them.
I'll show you some antique weaponry.
As soon as employees spotted the explosive Tuesday morning, the store was evacuated for the Maine State Police Bomb Squad to assess the situation, later determining the grenade wasn't active.
Friggin' the charitable joints are always getting these weapons.
Yeah, it seems like the grenades.
It's a good place to get rid of them.
we don't need some ninth grade kid having his arms blown off, because you don't know what the hell you're doing when you're donating to the Goodwill,
As the spring travel season is set to begin, so does a sneaky toll scam, which is back again this year. Dirtbag fraudsters are sliding into emails and text messages claiming drivers owe them money for Easy Pass lanes. I got 2 of these texts last week.
So did I,
Yeah,
and
me
I
too.
had to sit there and think about it.
This is really strange. One of them was when I was editing the story. True.
Oh, really?
Weird.
Yeah, it was odd. So I was wondering if my phone just picked up on that. I don't know. It's goofy.
Is that right?
According to the Minnesota Department of Transportation, the scam messages claim you racked up a toll charge on a recent journey, whether you actually traveled or not, and need to pay up ASAP to avoid some late fees. The messages often come from random numbers or sketchy email addresses and include a link to a fake payment site. Mine were texts, not emails. One example reads, settle your balance promptly to prevent additional late fees, a.k.a. click this link and let us steal your info. MnDOT made it clear in a statement they'll never contact you that way and collect toll payments, and it's not just Minnesota. Other states have also seen an uptick in reports of the same sad scam.
Honestly, I didn't even think to verify it. I just thought, if I really did this, if I really violated, maybe I'll get something in the mail if I haven't paid for a couple of months. But that's good to know that they will never contact you like that.
No, it's a scam.
Especially because I think in Minnesota in the morning, if I'm correct, it doesn't, you can't violate it before 6 a.m. I believe that's when, you can still use it before 6 a.m.
Yeah, there's hours.
Yeah, and so that's dumb of me to even think, because when am I on the road? 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah, I think you're safe.
They always say if you ever have a real question about those kinds of things, just call a cop, have them come over to your house.
Ask for donuts.
To our neighbors to the east, fasten your seatbelts as well. Scammers are shifting gears and coming your way with a different kind of car-related con that's happening in Wisconsin. Scammers posing as car dealerships are popping up across the state, and officials are warning buyers to stay sharp when shopping for vehicles online. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation has seen a surge in fraudsters creating phony dealerships to trick unsuspecting buyers. Convincing-looking websites and social media pages steal images from real Wisconsin dealerships, post stock photos of cars, and slap on prices that seem too good to be true because they are. In many cases, the so-called dealerships never existed. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation said buyers get a fake bill of sale, but once the money is wired, the seller disappears faster than you can say, go pack, go.
Dirty bastards.
The advertised cars are often listed below market value, luring in buyers who think they're getting a deal, but there's no actual car for sale.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, apparently quite a few people have fallen for this one, too.
Dirty.
I bet that's a lot of money you're losing.
Whose
Jessica
birthday is it?
Biel is 43.
Jessica Biel.
Love her.
Bud Bundy, unmarried with children. David Faustino, 51.
I still try to watch that show every day.
Julie Bowen, Claire on Modern Family, 55. Tone Loc, 59. Jackie Joyner-Kersee, the greatest female track and field athlete of all time, 63. And 1992 Heisman winner and NFL star Herschel Walker, 63 as well.
Oh, no, he was not the 82.
Oh, did I? Maybe I typed it wrong.
These things happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Herschel Walker is how old?
63.
Oh.
Congratulations to former vision therapist Jesus and Hennepin County Water Patrol Jesus expecting their first child in September from mom and dad. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
Ah! What the hell? I just saw your balls. They're hanging out. Oh, my God. Balls are disgusting. They're hideous.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
No. Is it raining outside? What is that? Does everyone hear that? Is it pouring rain?
What was that?
This is the oddest day so far. Well, at least in the last 5-10 minutes. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. What's up, fools?
Good morning.
Good morning.
What up, fool? Randy Shaver beginning his final week in the state of Florida. Is that accurate, Randy?
That is accurate, yes.
What will you miss about Florida?
The weather.
Is that the end of the list?
That's it.
Yeah.
It's going to be 56 here today.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh,
yeah.
heck yeah, baby.
That's the beauty, man. I missed the worst part of winter.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah.
It got awful cold there.
Yeah.
January and February. How long have you been gone? January, February.
It'll be 7 weeks this week.
Wow. I had Culver's for lunch yesterday, and I thought about you, and I thought, how have you gone 7 weeks without Culver's?
No, there's a Culver's a mile from here.
It's the first that question.
It's the first thing I found, Brad, when I got here. I'm not kidding you. It's the first thing it's the first meal I had when I showed up here.
Is there an In-N-Out anywhere near there?
I have not seen one. No.
Maybe that's just the Southwest.
I think that's a West Coast.
It's like a West Coast thing, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Culver's is superior.
So you're out of there. You're out of there sometime this week.
Yeah, we're leaving Thursday, and it'll take us about 3 days to get home. So.
Oh, driving.
Yeah. Yep.
Will you ever go back again?
That's to be determined. Will we ever do something like this again? Yeah. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Will it be here? That's to be determined.
Yeah, to be determined, I think, is being kind.
Try out Arizona next time.
Yeah, Arizona. I'm not a big Arizona guy. I guess I don't know why, but I'm not. So. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It's just hotter than Dutch love in Arizona.
Yeah, but not this time of year.
Not this time of year. I can't remember what time of year I went there, but my God, it was.
Well, I'm sure if it was in the middle of summer, like in July and August.
That would have been too crazy. There's no way I would have went there in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
But it was insane. All right, well, we look forward to having you back. We do.
Yep.
Timberwolves. Let's start with the Timberwolves. After a poorly played first half by both clubs, the Timberwolves came out in the second half and gave the Phoenix Suns a good beating, and they won the game by 18 points. Anthony Edwards scored 44 of those points. Hell, he had 16 at halftime, so that's a whale of a second half. Julius Randle's back in the mix.
Yep.
All right, he scored 20 points.
Yep.
In his first game, in more than a month. He missed more than a month of time with a raging groin problem. Jim Peterson said it last night. This club needs to get things cooking. There's 20 games left. They need wins. Yep. Time to stop effing around.
Yep, for sure.
Most important stat from last night is there were no technical fouls on Anthony Edwards.
No, I mean, he was still complaining, but he, I guess, maybe left out the F-bombs, wasn't as demonstrative maybe as he's been in the past.
Yep.
But he was not shy about showing his displeasure. Yes, as we all know, from here on out, every 2 technical fouls that Anthony Edwards receives will mean another suspension. He missed Friday's game in Utah, which they
lost.
Lost by 1 point.
They missed him. They missed him Friday night.
Yeah, they did. Next up for the Timberwolves. Well, first off, I should say Dante DiVincenzo is also back in the mix, in case you haven't noticed.
Yep.
And he was killing it last night.
Yeah.
He hit 8 three-point baskets. The Suns turned the ball over like a pack of drunks, but they made up for that by missing a hell of a lot of shots. The Wolves scored 40 points off of 22 Phoenix turnovers. Up next, they're at home tomorrow night against the Philadelphia 76ers, who have shut down Joel Embiid for the rest of the season.
Right.
The top 10 teams in the West are pretty well set. What is not set is who are the top 6 going to be, who avoid the play-in game, and that's what I think Jim Pete is talking about. The Wolves need to get cooking to get out of that 7 to 10 slot, because right now they're smack in the middle of that. But yeah.
Oh, they'll take on the Philadelphia 76ers.
A couple of things. First of all, the comments by Kevin Durant after the game last night, pretty funny. I mean, they embarrassed themselves, is what he said. Phoenix is not in a position, I don't think, to make a run to get into that play-in. So I think you're right. The other thing that happened this weekend is that Sabonis went down with a terrible hamstring injury, which will not help Sacramento at all.
Oh, really? Oh, he's terrific.
Yeah, they did make a deal to sign or trade for Valanciunas as a backup center. He'll now get more time. But Sacramento is I mean, those 4 teams, I think Golden State's going to end up getting out of there, and the Clippers likely falling into that play-in. But the Wolves can get out of there too. I mean, the Wolves, I agree with Jim Pete, they're starting to get healthy now. If they can just find a way to get out of that play-in situation, it'll make life a little bit easier for them.
All right. Will Joel Embiid ever be an effective player at the NBA level ever again?
I'm going to say no.
No,
I think Joel Embiid is.
His body just can't do it.
Yeah, I think he's going the way of
Greg Oden.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
Unfortunately, it kind of reminds me of the Greg Oden story.
Yep.
Hey, Brad Ryder, you're a guy who made a living before you started teaching sex ed. You made a living as a media relations guy at the collegiate level, at the pro level, Twins, Timberwolves, Golden Gopher hockey. You know how to put a spin on just about any situation, don't you? It's what paid the bills.
Sure, part of it.
Let's see if you can put a positive spin on this, and it's one of your old bros too, Jimmy Bottles, little Jimmy.
Oh, what happened? See, I'm coming into this cold. I didn't hear this.
Golden State Warriors forward Jimmy Bottles has been sued for allegedly failing to pay $260,000 in rent and leaving behind more than $127,000 in damages to a luxury home he leased in Miami when he was playing for the Heat. He friggin' rented a big mansion, didn't pay the bills, and
didn't do the upkeep.
And he wrecked the place, according to.
I think one of the things he didn't do was he basically shut out the staff.
Yes, he did.
Taking care of the place.
According to the story. Josh, what kind of rent do you pay over at your house? Jimmy was paying $130,000 a month at his property.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh my gosh!
Well, sounds like he just missed the last couple months, then, right?
Yeah, he missed a couple months.
Yeah, when you talk about a couple $100,000 in missed rent, $100,000 in damage, you could tear down my house and there'd be less damage to me. It would be worth less than that.
So yes, in this lawsuit, the plaintiff says that little Jimmy, failed to pay 2 months of rent.
That's ridiculous.
He also allegedly it is
$100,000 and some a month.
And someone look up what little Jimmy has in his pocketbook currently. What does he make, Brad? Rough estimate. I don't follow these things. What does he make a year?
Boy, I want to say even the $20 million a year. Right?
$20 million a year. I'd trust your word, Brad Ryder.
No, I'm sorry, double that.
Yeah.
I think 48.
48 mil.
48.
I think he can afford $130,000 a month.
An apartment over in Roseville for $400 a month. To him.
Like Randy Shaver was saying, it's the lawsuit claims he changed the locks and would not give a key to the property owner.
That's right.
Kept maintenance workers from entering the home. He also failed to maintain the swimming pool and air conditioning, and the latter led to extensive mold that requires the replacement of ceilings and floors on the property. So the plaintiff is looking for near $250,000 from Jimmy.
Well, what's the security deposit on a place like that?
$130,000.
He lost that.
Yes, security deposit gone. Butler has not commented on the case. This is just an entitled douchebag being an entitled douchebag.
Absolutely.
No kidding.
I can't believe you didn't get the toolbox out and go wrench on that air conditioner.
Right. Go ahead, Brad. You love Jimmy, so what do you got?
Yeah.
Well, with all the heat and humidity in Miami, it's easy to understand where there would be mold growing.
That's not his fault. How's he going to know?
It's not his fault. Yeah, how's he going to control
It's
that?
not his
How
fault.
can he control the weather?
Yeah, he's a man. He can't control the weather.
There's PR, Brad. I love that.
I mean, he's good, isn't he, Brad? But he's not that good. He can't control the weather.
Right.
This reminds me of the story we heard a few months ago, Josh. Some big shot casino owner, Summers. Let's just go ahead and say Las Vegas because I don't know, but it might be a safe assumption since it's a casino owner. And this guy has hosted hundreds and hundreds of these high roller poker tournaments with everything from big time characters who made their money playing poker to rock stars, Hollywood actors, every different level of rich person that you could deal with. And someone asked him, who's the biggest bag of dongs you've ever met? With all these big shots coming through, who's the biggest bag of dongs? And he said 2 words, Jimmy Butler. Said he was a pain in the ass from start to finish and acted so entitled that he was just making people sick from one end of the casino to the other.
Was that your experience, Brad?
Well, it wasn't my experience.
I thought you liked the guy.
Well, I got along fine with him. Yeah, but
Getting along fine with him and liking him is 2 different things.
Very much so.
well, I guess I don't know. I respected what he was trying to do with certain other people in the locker room.
Sure.
I'll put it that way.
Sure.
Well, didn't
And
he
then,
and
and then
Towns
after
hate
he
each
and then after he left, people complained that our locker room wasn't the way that he wanted it to be. It's like, well, you can't have it. But when I say people, I mean certain media people. You can't have it both ways.
The 2 of you never should have become.
He was trying to. I mean, I'll cut through the. He was trying to toughen up Carl. You know what I mean? And they got along okay.
That was your job, Brad, to toughen up Carl.
But then after he left, and everybody's like, "Well, Carl's too soft." Well, I mean, yeah, okay. Well, you had a guy there that was trying to do that, but
you and Jimmy never should have become intimate.
That ruined the whole
It changes
thing.
your point of view. Oh, golden goal for men's basketball. Randy Shaver, they went ahead and beat Nebraska on the road on Saturday.
What?
Huh?
What in the world, man?
Oh, man. I
can never figure this team out.
No.
Just cannot.
I have so much fun with this because every time my fiance is like, oh, the Gopher basketball team won, I'm like, yeah, suck it, Randy.
Yeah, I hear you.
Unbelievable. They made the tournament. If they don't screw it up this week.
The Big Ten tournament.
Well, sure, okay, I'm fine with them making it. They play those silly pricks from Wisconsin on Wednesday night.
Well, they'll lose that game.
What are you talking about?
They'll lose that game.
It was quite a moment for Paige Beckers yesterday, the young gal from Hopkins, terrific ladies basketball player. She was inducted into the University of Connecticut's Huskies of Honor. She got a banner with her jersey number on it lifted to the rafters yesterday on Senior Day.
Welcome the newest member of the Yukon Huskies of Honor, Paige Beckers.
Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for an amazing 4, 5, 6 years.
I absolutely love her. I love watching her interviews. She seems like she'd be a fun person to hang out with.
I'm asking this because I genuinely don't know how many jerseys have they retired there.
I was trying to look that up, Brad Ryder, and I couldn't find it anywheres.
I saw the video, and they showed, all of them hanging up there on the wall, and there were quite a number of them.
I was going to say, there has to be a lot.
Between their men's and women's programs, I bet it looks like someone's hanging laundry.
Yep, exactly.
If someone can find that, the retired numbers, University of Connecticut men's and women's program, by damn, they've had a lot of great players. They say here that she is Paige Beckers is the likely number 1 overall pick in this year's WNBA draft.
Yep, that would make sense.
and she'll come into the mix and just start curb stomping fools up and down.
So her number's not retired. She's just in their Ring of Honor type of thing. They've only retired 4 numbers, and in order to have your number retired at UConn, you have to end up in the Hall of Fame. So that's Rip. Well, that can't be right. Rip Hamilton's not in the Hall of Fame, is he?
I don't know. But he came into the. He
might be in the college.
Oh,
college, yeah. So
Yes.
Hamilton, Ray Allen, Rebecca Lobo, and Swin Cash are the 4 that are retired.
I think there's you're thinking of the overall Hall of Fame.
When you have a program like that, it makes sense to have a Ring of Honor and retired jerseys because you got so many good players coming.
One of those 4 that you mentioned, Dana, has been on air live with the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
You guys got Swin Cash?
No, we got Richard Hamilton. Many, many years ago. Remember that, Josh?
I do, yeah.
And
I remember you were very pumped.
Give him the semi-well-known figure that he was with that morning.
Who was he with? Oh, was it Fancy Ray?
No, I love Fancy Ray.
Who was it?
This is going to be great when I tell you the answer, and I don't blame you for forgetting. It was a long time ago. No, it wasn't Fancy Ray. It was Bill Russell.
Oh, wow. I thought that was a whole separate thing. They came in together?
Yes, they did.
Oh.
But I love that you guessed Fancy Ray.
Oh, Fancy Ray came in with somebody.
Surprised you even noticed Rip Hamilton if Bill Russell was with him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought Bill Russell was a whole separate interview.
No, they were
I don't
together.
remember them together.
Side by side, hip to hip, butt to butt, everybody. But, you know, I'm never going to be mad at anybody who says Fancy Ray's name out loud on this radio show because I love to watch that man on television.
He's awesome. He was fun.
Sexiest man in show business still after all these years. Yeah, it was some kind of radio tour they were doing. I believe they were raising money and meeting children and touring all over the land for diabetes, if I remember correctly. It was some diabetes. This is 20 years ago. And I'll say it again. To meet Bill Russell, to talk to that man about his life and career, and to have laughs with that man was one of the greatest
laugh of all time.
Yeah, I wonder if I still have. I recorded it. It was so good.
One of the absolute thrills of my lifetime, and I feel so fortunate to have been given that opportunity.
He's gonna make up.
That's so cute.
Oh, he was great.
And we got him laughing, too. He's an easy guy to get laughing. After the first 5 minutes, I mean, you know, we've told stories like this before where the first 5 minutes, Josh and I were just, we could barely get a...
Sure.
I could barely talk. Bill Russell, are you effing kidding me? And Richard Hamilton was also very nice. A high school basketball game in Ohio, one kid intentionally punched another kid in the ding-ding.
That was brutal.
Is this up on our website, Ashley?
Yes.
There's video, and it is hilarious. This was a playoff high school basketball game in Ohio between one school and another. Who cares? At one point in the game, a player's point guard's dribbling her up the court. He crosses the timeline. He's sorting out the offense, and the defender, he's in a guarding position, and then he says, you know what? I don't really feel like playing real basketball. He takes 2 steps forward, and he punches the other player in his nuts. The player did not get ejected or receive a technical foul.
What? Really?
Somehow they just called it an intentional foul. I don't know what these referees were looking at. It was a 100% straight up, full-on punch to the penis and bag.
Not subtle.
So weird, dude.
But it's the playoffs. You got right, Randy and Brad? They turn it up a notch in the playoffs.
Sure.
Get your hands off of other dudes' junk.
Check that out on our website, and you are going to be bewildered by the fact that the referees did not eject a player or did not dump a technical foul on him. They called it an intentional foul, just like if you grab a player's arms under the basket.
Sure.
It makes me laugh every time I watch the video. Just boom, right to the penis.
The only thing the video's missing is just a kind of a thing, or I don't know what sound effect you might.
Oh, they put a Taco Bell sound behind it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Dawn.
Yeah, I think this. Well, actually, I don't remember if they're swear words, but yeah, they put a Taco Bell.
Oh, well then that's perfect. I don't know what gave way. After the punch to the penis, but this is historic stuff, and I think you have Draymond Green to thank for this.
Well, whose nutshot was better, that punch to the nuts or the John Cena to Cody Rhodes heel turn kick to the nuts?
You know, I didn't see any video of John Cena's heel turn. I just read about it. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. I don't know if you two are familiar with.
I actually did see this on Twitter, yeah.
This has sent America into a tailspin that John Cena has finally turned heel in the WWE. And he did so at this past weekend's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Forget about Fruity Pebbles. Forget about hustle, loyalty, and respect. John Cena, after decades of fans demanding it, he's finally going to be a prick, at least for a brief period of time, and everyone's looking forward to it. It's been decades. And fans have been saying, for the love of Christ, why can't he turn heel? Everyone else does at some point in their career. He never did. Now it's happening, and it's pleasing many television wrestling fans. Did he hit Cody Rhodes in the dick?
Oh, yeah, kicked him right in the balls.
Yeah.
The, what's his...
the American Nightmare.
The American Nightmare, yeah. I'm sure the crowd went nuts. Like I said, folks have been waiting on this.
Dana said earlier, a friend of his had a couple kids watching it, his kids watching, and they cried.
She sent me a picture. They're all decked out in their, as Nick mentioned, the Fruity Pebbles shirts. He's known for his real colorful, bright shirts, and they got the headbands on and everything. They were just distraught.
I love that.
At the idea that John Cena is now a bad guy.
If children are going to cry,
you're in.
I'm all in.
God. Man,
I didn't even realize The Rock was a bad guy. That's how much I follow wrestling.
Yeah, I also haven't watched it in years, Brad Ryder, and like I've said more than once this morning, I'm ashamed of myself to have to say that out loud, but it's true. Oh, The Rock was the premier heel. He never, if there's one guy who could have just stayed heel, The Rock was absolutely one of the best in the business at it.
Yeah, Corporate Rock, when he used to team up with the McMahons and all that, he was the corporate champ. He was fantastic.
Fred Goudreau scored the game's only goal yesterday. Old Phil Gustafson stopped 28 shots. The Pigs beat the Boston Bruins 1-0. So they busted up their 3-game losing streak. Gustafson posted his 4th shutout of the season. The Bruins lost for the 6th time in 7 games, which doesn't break anyone's heart around here. The boys won yesterday with defense and goaltending. Next up, they play at the Totally Unnecessary tomorrow night. 9 o'clock game time. Pigs are the road team, the home team, the Totally Unnecessary. And you know who that is. Yesterday, Pigs GM Bill Guerin said we should expect the Russian kid and Joel Eriksson Ek to return before the end of the regular season. They're both currently on injured reserve with lower body injuries. He does not have a timetable on when either player could come back. Okay, great. Get him ready for the playoff. That might just mean 2 meaningless games at the ass end of the season, but whatever. I think fans would be pleased by just about anything. They made a deal yesterday, the Pigs did, for a familiar character. They acquired Gustav Nyquist from the Nashville Predators in exchange for a 2nd-round pick. This is the 2nd time the Pigs have traded for Gustav Nyquist. And what's the term? That's a real page turner, but there's a more modern term for the needle. Something about the needle.
Move the needle?
This is a move the needle kind of a move. Don't be mistaken. Did you hear the name, Randy Shaver?
I did.
You probably forgot it already. It's Gustav Nyquist.
Yes.
Golden Gopher hockey. Did not win the Big Ten hockey regular season outright. They're splitting that title with Michigan State. Golden Gophers won 1 out of 2 at Penn State. Michigan State swept Notre Dame, so they'll split the title. What that means for the Golden Gophers, the Spartans are really the outright winner because of the tiebreaker. Michigan State was 2-0-2 against the Golden Gophers this year. Golden Gophers don't get the weekend off. Michigan State will. So this weekend in the Big Ten hockey tournament, the Golden Gophers will host Notre Dame. Last place Notre Dame in a best-of-3. The other matchups, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. So get beyond this weekend and go from there. Too bad they didn't win it outright. I don't think anyone in that locker room is losing much sleep over it. They had trouble this year, says here. Probably the reason they did not win the title outright is because they were 1-3 in 3-on-3 overtime games and 0-3 in shootouts. I didn't know college hockey did 3-on-3 in overtime. That's not real hockey, and I hate that. So they say because they struggled in those extra sessions and in shootouts, that's what kept them from winning the title outright. I've said it a million times. You should win a hockey game playing hockey. Not 3-on-3, not shootouts. I hate that crap. The good news is in the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament, they put that junior high crap away, and you play real hockey until there's a winner. So they had a solid season. We'll see what happens this weekend. The girls hockey team at the University of Minnesota, they overtook Mankato in the first round of the WCHA playoffs. Now they move on to the WCHA final face-off is what they call it. They play in the windy city of Duluth. They'll play Ohio State. I've been excited all day long to tell you this story from Twins spring training. And the headline, it's shocking. I clicked as quickly as I could. Multiple Minnesota Twins players rattled after near-death experience.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. All right.
The 3 players, Jorge Alcala, the big right-handed relief pitcher, second baseman Eddie Julian, and outfielder Matt Wallner feel lucky to be alive. The 3 of them narrowly escaped a head-on collision with an out-of-control vehicle that was headed in the opposite direction when they were driving from Fort Myers to wherever the hell the Pittsburgh Pirates play Port Charlotte. Okay, so they're driving to the ball game to play the Pittsburgh Pirates, and all 3 of them were nearly killed.
I think this happened a week ago, right?
Oh,
I think it happened a week ago because I thought it happened on a double check it, Nick, because I think I saw Julian play against the Tigers Wednesday of last week. That would have been 2 days after that supposedly happened.
Okay. Someone might have to look that up.
You know how cabinet members, in our government, they don't like to keep them all in one area at one time in case something awful happened. I think these guys shouldn't be allowed to all be in one car at one time.
Don't we take
30 cars to the same?
Keep them safe.
Don't they take buses anymore?
You know what, Brad Ryder? I don't know. I guess in certain situations.
Well, here's the thing, Brad, because some of these guys, they'll play 4 innings.
Okay.
You'll start, you'll play, then you're done. You can't go back in the game. So instead of sitting around and waiting for the game to finish,
right,
and getting on a bus, they'll just drive there.
I know I know every team takes a bus to every spring training game. Maybe certain guys, you're right. Maybe certain guys get exceptions if they're only getting,
And these guys are all varsity players, so I would imagine that's exactly what it was. They're going to go play the Pirates. These 3 are going to play 2-3 innings. They'll go back to the hotel and get in.
I know they're not all carpooling. I know that there's a bus that goes.
Let's cut to the chase here. Alcala was riding in a car with his brother. Wallner and Julian are following him. They're driving on a interstate type of a scene when suddenly a speeding vehicle coming from the opposite direction drives through the median and goes flying through the air, barely missing both cars. Julian said he was alerted to the near miss. He was probably playing with his phone or something. Wallner's driving. He was alerted to this situation when Wallner started to scream obscenities They pulled over after the incident, took a moment to comprehend what had just happened before continuing on to go play that game against the Pirates. Eddie Julian said, I've never heard Wallner scared like that. I look up and I see a car in the median. All of a sudden, the car jumps like 6 feet in the air. Julian said, I could see under the car, if that gives you an idea of how high this vehicle launched into the air. So it jumped over them or in front of them or something. It narrowly missed both Alcala's car and the car with Julian and Wallner. He was able to see the underside of the vehicle.
How tragic would that have been? Oh, my God.
Alcala said this, I saw everything. It flew over us. It was something really scary, a little traumatizing, but thanks to God, every time I leave my home, I thank God for another day. That must have been.
That'll do it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You must have thought you are about to meet your maker.
Yep.
Friggin' Florida, Randy.
Yeah, I know.
So
Have a safe trip back, Randy.
I can't. There's a part of me that cannot wait to get out of here. Yes.
Randy was telling that story about how sometimes, the big leaguers, they'll play an inning or two, and then they're free to leave the game. They go back to the hotel, go back to their house, they drive their own car.
Well, not to the hotel. They'll just leave.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a road game, they just take off.
There's a great story, though, once A.J. Brzezinski was with the White Sox. Similar situation. Ozzie Guillen pulls him out after, the second, third inning. A.J., goes out to his car and decides, hey, I'll just shower at home. So full uniform, gets in his car, drives off, gets pulled over for speeding. The guy comes to the door, license and registration. He kind of looks down at him and goes, do you play for the White Sox? And A.J. looked up at him and goes, what was your first effing clue?
Sounds like something he'd say.
Yeah. Oh, man. I had a similar experience. There were no airborne motor vehicles, and I've told this story before. I came real close to a high-speed head-on collision because a driver was driving the wrong way, absolutely drunk, on St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to say 1998. It must have been 98. And it had a long-lasting effect on me. I barely avoided this drunken woman who did kill 2 people behind me. She banked into 2 people behind me. And all of this is so familiar. I don't know how I was able to avoid this, but I just went into full NASCAR mode. I mean, I'm swerving and braking and swerving and braking, and I just got... Luckily, she never changed her path. Just a beeline straight, about 70 miles an hour straight. Yeah. And they found out she was horribly drunk, and like I said, she killed 2 people behind me. Had she twitched to her left, I would be dead. But she didn't. She never moved. I anticipated anything, of course, and that's why I was toggle, left, right, brake, gas, I anticipated the worst. But I also pulled over and had to gather myself for about 5 minutes, and it affected the way I drove for about, I'm going to say 6 months. Anytime I saw brake lights, I was hopping on the damn brake pedal way harder than I should have. This stuff will F you up.
I can totally relate because my car accident almost a year ago now, in April, when I totaled my Thunderbird, that semi that clipped me, every time I driving down here, I get so far past semis. As soon as I come up, if one pulls up next to me, I am finding a way to get the hell out of there.
I've always been that way.
I don't trust them.
What? The kings of the road?
My mom works at a company that deals with semi trucks daily, a big shipping company, and she told me when I was younger, she burned it into my brain that to always watch out, about their blind spots and about how it can happen so fast and the difference between your tiny little car and their big car. She said, just try to give them as much room as you possibly can.
Hey, Randy, the born loser never would have put you in danger.
I know.
Oh, my God, what is that? Ah! We're trying to mess with you, Randy. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
You can be able to sleep tonight?
I will sleep like a baby, yes.
Now, does Roseanne drive any of the way back, or do you drive the whole way?
Oh,
nope.
Why not?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Her choice or yours?
Mine.
Oh,
and that's all I'll say.
Okay.
Smart.
There's a Twins pitching prospect messing around down there in Florida with the Twins this spring training. A Twins pitching prospect is how you say it, who they say here he might have the fastest knuckleball in big league history.
I saw him pitch.
Corey Lewis.
I saw him pitch against the Tigers.
Okay, how did he do?
You know, he did pretty well. And I got to be honest with you, Nick, I didn't know it was a knuckleball.
Oh, because it's going so fast.
Yeah.
87 miles per hour. They say if this kid gets into a big league, if he makes the roster this year, which probably is a long shot, but if he gets into a big league game and he throws an 87 mile per hour knuckleball, that will be the fastest knuckleball ever thrown in baseball history. You had guys like R.A. Dickey, who pitched here for the Twins. They say he would hit around 80. But the old school knuckleballers like Charlie Huff and friggin' Tim Wakefield, I mean, they were in the 60s.
Yep.
It's pretty rare for a knuckleball to have that kind of velocity. I'd like to see it. I mean, I watched a video. It was kind of grainy. I couldn't.
Yeah.
87 mile per hour knuckleball. I bet that'll mangle you.
I knew that he threw a knuckleball when I watched him, but I couldn't tell sitting from my seat, a separation of different pitches. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably why, because it was just too fast.
Well, there you go. I like those old school knuckleballs when it takes that sumbitch forever to get to the plate.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Necro, Wilbur Wood.
Oh, yeah.
Bunch of great guys.
I got to throw this at you, and this will only land with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, I'm sure. But that's probably, it's okay just for a minute here. Mentioning all these old school pitchers. A buddy of mine was a terrific high school baseball player and went on to play town ball, college baseball, and then town ball. And he was a pitcher at times. And he put on a little weight once he got a little older, like most of us. And he was walking out to the bump to start a game in town ball, and someone on the opposite bench said, "Oh, look who we got today, Rick Russell."
Oh, you did get your two intended targets there.
Yep.
In defense of your buddy, Rick Russell was a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, he was. He said he had to laugh because it was such a clever joke.
It was.
Here comes Rick Russell. Rick Russell pitched for the San Francisco Giants back in the day, and he had a little extra weight on him. And the Cubs. And he had a little extra weight.
If I heard that, if I was the pitcher, I might be thinking, okay, it might be time to mix in a salad once in a while.
Hey, some people are just big-boned.
Yeah, exactly.
Odds makers aren't expecting much out of the Chicago White Sox in the baseball year of 20 and 25. They have a history-making over-under of just 53.5 wins, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, heading into this season.
So 53.5. How many losses would that be?
That would be 190. If you took the over and won at 54. Then they would still lose 108 games.
I think I take the under. Have you seen their lineup?
I just saw a brief scattering of names last night.
Nick, they just won their first Grapefruit League game or exhibition game, spring training game last week.
Okay.
They started I think 0-6. Their lineup is, other than Luis Robert, I don't know anyone on that lineup.
They haven't really killed themselves making improvements to a team that set the record for losses last year. They lost 121 games.
Their pitching staff is all young kids. It's all young guys. So,
well, speaking of velocity and the knuckleball, cut my heart out, Jesus. Josh texted the program and said, "You should see the velocity on my knuckles when I'm getting after my gear."
No. Just think.
What is the matter with you? What? Why would you?
Why?
I don't want to see that.
I don't even want to think that.
That was the other thing Rick Russell was known for.
I don't think so.
No, that's not true. He was a wonderful guy. We can close this nightmare out with some football. Football. You love football, the NFL. You love it. You can't get enough of it. And they're doing that silliness in Indianapolis. What do they call it? The Columbine?
Combine, yeah.
Columbine.
That's something different.
That was an honest mistake. I wasn't joking about. The San Francisco 49ers have agreed to trade a guy who used to be a real big deal with that club, Debo.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel has been traded to the Commodores.
He just got traded for like a 5th-round pick, right?
Yeah, for a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, my fiance was like flabbergasted. He thought he was worth more than that.
I think he gets hurt all the time, doesn't he?
That's what I was asking. He does? Okay.
He's a great
Debo.
The Commanders GM pulled a pretty good double switch the last few days because he traded Johan Dotson, who was another one of their wide receivers, for a 3rd-rounder, and got Samuel back for a 5th-rounder.
Wait a minute. Johan Dotson was worth a 3rd-round pick?
Yeah.
I don't even know who Johan Dotson is.
He was like their 3rd wide receiver last year.
Oh, for the 49ers?
For the Commanders.
All right.
He got a 3rd-rounder for him and got Samuel for a 5th-rounder.
That's a great switch.
Yeah.
I got mind control over Debo.
Although I will say this, I'm not so sure Debo is the same player. I really don't.
No, he used to be a big deal. He's not a big deal.
I don't know how much he's going to really help them. I mean, certainly a veteran player, that kind of stuff, but his breakaway ability is not the same as it used to be.
The Los Angeles Rams are going to stick with Matthew Stafford, so sorry to everyone who was looking forward to the Stafford for O'Connell trade.
Well, that said a lot of stuff
with the Vikings.
Place, though. The decision by the Rams to keep Stafford means that your favorite player is not going to L.A., but may end up with the Giants now.
My favorite player? Karen?
Aaron Rodgers, yes.
Oh.
There was a lot of speculation that Rodgers would end up in L.A. if they decided to move on from Stafford and just as a bridge to a next quarterback. But now it looks like he's having discussions with the Giants.
I was looking forward to that Stafford for O'Connor trade that we talked about.
That's not going to happen.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. And here you go. Okay, Hard Knocks. You got Josh. Do you still watch Hard Knocks?
No, I missed the last couple.
Oh. All right, coming up
This
next.
is good.
Hard Knocks, the off-season version, they call it.
Yeah.
There's an off-season version, and I never saw it, any version. This year, Josh, maybe this will bring you back. The feature ball club will be Bill Belichick and the University of North Carolina Tar Heels.
Did you see why?
Because no NFL club wanted to do it.
They all turned it down.
Yeah.
They were getting desperate.
What do you think, Randy and Brad? Will you watch this grouchy son of a bitch?
Actually, I think I'd be interested just to kind of take it in for a first couple.
Be interested to see what he actually does.
This is either going to be a very successful transition and could change the way college football looks at things, or it could be a complete disaster.
I don't think he stays there.
I don't think there's an in between for this. I think it's either going to be a great success, or it's just not going to work.
Before we go,
how they're trying to put it all together, make it look like a pro team and that kind of stuff.
I haven't been able to watch Bill Belichick on television for over a decade, so you guys can have at this one. I won't be coming to you. I haven't been able to look at the man for over a decade.
Great success.
Great success. Josh, before we go, do you want to invite Randy and Brad to your 50th birthday party?
Nothing's been planned yet, but of course they'll be getting invites.
Will you guys come get drunk with Cubby on his 50th birthday?
When is your birthday?
What's the date?
It's the end of the month. We'll give you details, but let's get.
Sure.
I just found out yesterday they're doing something. Of course you guys are invited.
Well, very nice.
Would love to.
Body shots.
Brad.
Just as long as it's in Egan somewhere.
Well, we were kind of hoping to use your house, Brad.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad.
How do you feel about body shots?
Depends on whose body.
Fair enough. We got to get going, boys, but thank you very much for a wonderful Monday morning. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
And we'll be back here in a few minutes on the Half-Ass Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
Half-assed morning show. You may look like a bum, but you got a lot of talent.
On 93X.
What a crowd we got. What is it, 8:31 Monday morning? Sorry about that. We had some kind of meltdown in the studio. Things weren't firing, and we'll have to deal with it after the show is over. Got a text message, Josh. The Brooklyn Park Street Department fellas would love a shout-out.
Oh, that's great. What are they up to today?
Brooklyn, probably very little. I wanted to ask them. Word life to the Brooklyn Park Street Department, but are you fellas as inactive as my hometown street department?
They don't do too much over there?
Ever tell you the story about my buddy who worked for the street department? Loved the job because he was young and drank a lot, and he knew every morning they would pour him into a truck. He would go to a location to paint a fire hydrant or something along those lines. So he was very confident that he could party his nuts off night in, night out, go to work at the street department, find a tree to park under in the shade, and he could nap for a couple of hours. And then one day, the boss handed him a jackhammer.
Fun.
The boss handed him a jackhammer, and the nightmare was underway.
I bet that was fun.
Oh, no, not with a terrible...
He didn't enjoy the...
Oh, no, not with a terrible hangover, no.
Oh, yeah, that's
You
true.
wanted no part of it.
Did he injure himself?
No, he just was miserable for the next 6 hours because they finally handed him something to do, and it was brutal work. Maybe it was punishment. Maybe the boss knew all along.
I thought it'd be fun, but maybe it is difficult.
Oh, not with, with an overhang?
A lot of puke.
I'd like to introduce you to a part of my body I call the meat department. It's right here.
That's
right
it?
in this area right here.
The meat department.
Yeah, not very impressive.
All right, Josh, how many of us have them?
Friends.
It's not friends.
Oh, jobs?
No, apps.
Apps?
How many of us have them? Apps. Are you always busy downloading apps to your cellular device?
I got a handful that I use, and I don't remember the last time I downloaded a new one.
Ashley, downloading apps.
I like to download some new ones every now and then.
Tell me about some of your favorite apps.
My favorite apps, nothing too crazy. I use a pregnancy app quite a bit now.
What do you do on the pregnancy app?
You can see what size fruit your baby is every week.
Oh, what's it at now?
Right now, I believe it's a lemon.
All right, pregnancy app. Any others?
Yeah, I guess my favorite apps would be like the typical ones. Instagram.
Yeah, you got to tell me because I'm just not familiar. I mean, I have them on my phone, but I don't. Go ahead. So what are the typical ones?
Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, well, X now.
Yeah.
Tumblr. I do have quite a few food apps, too.
I have 0 of those apps you just mentioned.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense for
I'm
you.
also not involved in any of those. Food apps?
Yeah, like I have a B-Dubs app, McDonald's app. You can get points if you order through the app, stuff like that.
There's so much. There's so many possibilities. I
like to have as few as possible.
You do?
Yeah, I'm just kind of anal that way.
Okay.
I've downloaded a couple random ones every now and then, like an 8-ball pool app. That can be fun. I bet you'd get a lot of joy out of that, Nick.
So it's like playing a pool video game?
Yes.
That sounds like fun to me.
How many pages do you have?
Oh, it stresses people out because I don't organize my apps. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Oh my
9,
God.
10, 11. 11.
My wife is the same way. She's got just pages and pages.
It's hard to not be. You do what I do, Josh. If on the iPhone, if you just swipe up, you can punch in like the first 3 letters of an app, and you find it right away.
Yeah, I have 1 page. I can't imagine having 2 pages. That's like clicking on the second page of a Google search. You're not supposed to do that. Nobody does that. That's crazy talk right
I'm
there.
so jealous. Yeah, there are some apps on here that I definitely don't use anymore that I could get rid of. But what if I need them?
By the way, Stillers fan Jesus texted in to say that his mother says that he stayed a lemon. You have a pregnancy app that will tell you every day or every week what fruit your child has grown to the size of.
Yep.
And lately, it told you it's at a lemon size. That's very interesting.
I was wrong, too. It's actually now at a peach.
A peach.
Next is avocado.
Okay, it goes from there. There are some very strange apps. I mean, Ashley sounds like she's pretty dialed into this kind of thing. Josh and I, not so much. There are some very strange apps that we can discuss this morning on the program. These are supposedly actual apps you can download to your cell phone, starting with the Nothing app. And as the name suggests, this app does absolutely nothing. When you launch it, you see a blank gray screen with nothing written in the center and nothing else.
What is the point of that?
I don't know.
Nothing?
Just maybe stop some distractions or to
Just
make
to
people think you're insane.
Show your friends, the Nothing app. I imagine it's just a quick punchline. The Plumber Crack.
Now, this one I'm tempted to get.
Okay, so it sounds like a little bit of a video game.
Yeah.
In Plumber Crack, you have to toss ice cubes into a plumber's ass crack. That's it. That's the whole game.
In real life, you might get a plunger to the face, but this sounds kind of fun, actually, the plumber's crack.
I think I've mentioned this before. When we used to have those big, long, miserable concert festivals back in the early days, Josh, we'd have to go out to some massive field and put up with 3 or 4 days of live shows. Sometimes we'd get lucky and there were some great acts, but sometimes it wasn't so great. We would keep ourselves entertained, and we never got our asses kicked for this, although we probably should have. We would find a guy sitting in the field and enjoying the show.
Minding his own business.
Right.
Yeah.
We would find a guy whose ass crack was hanging out the back of his shorts or pants, and it was a challenge to drop a quarter perfectly down that individual's ass crack.
That's fun.
Yeah. So Plumber's Crack is another app you could try. Electric Shaver.
I could see this being fun for a prank.
This simulates shaving. It simulates the act of shaving on your phone.
Yeah, so if it could adjust when your phone moves, kind of like a regular shaver, right? How the sound is different. It'd be fun to go up behind somebody, put it on their head, and have them hear the shaver.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that being kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about these with my fiance, and he said that the shaving app, he said those remind him of OG iPhone apps. Like there was a lot of apps like that. There's before, the flashlight was a thing where you could pretend you had a flashlight, or you could make it like a regular phone, like an actual phone you have against the wall, and put that up to your ear. Just really basic apps.
I like your idea, Josh. I like the idea of using the shaving app to mess with somebody. Hey, we got music in the background. Does anyone know where that's coming from? Because there's no one in the other room running the board.
Yeah, the computers died over there.
Oh, this is a jam.
So where is this even coming from?
So I just got this other one.
You're playing the music.
So I got another computer.
We've had a massive technical meltdown in the building. We'll do the best we can.
Well, earlier it smelled like smoke. I don't know if it's related.
Yes.
And it was out of the main studio.
Is there a fire anywhere?
It must be related because Josh isn't kidding. An hour and a half ago, we smelled smoke, and now we've got a bunch of things that aren't working. Okay, more of these weird apps that you can download on your phone. By the way, back to the electric shaver app. Yesterday, I was shopping Summers, and I saw a little bottle of electric shave. You remember that product,
No,
Josh?
I've never. What is that?
It's an aftershave. And it's called Electric Shave. Just like, what are some of the other popular aftershaves? Maybe Old Spice, Aqua Velva. It was so 1981 that I saw this bottle of Electric Shave. I didn't think it was still the thing. All right, the next app is called Send Me to Heaven, or just SMTH. Now, this is a game where you throw your phone in the air and it calculates the height of the throw. Cell phone companies must have come up with this one, so we'll buy new cell phones and spend more money.
This would be fun, though. I could see myself really liking this.
I like to do it with children.
Oh.
Same type of thing.
So you and your friends can enter a contest to see who can throw their cell phone the highest. And obviously, maybe you'll get lucky and catch it the first time, but you're going to shatter your phone into a million pieces. I don't know. How tough are those cell phones? Could they take a decent fall?
If you got an, what are they called? Otterbox? I bet you have a pretty good chance.
I've got a really good case.
Okay.
If you drop this,
it depends the way it lands, right? If it lands on its screen, though, you might be SOL.
Check that out if you want. SMTH, send me to heaven. Is this next app called $10 million or $1 million? I can't read this.
Oh, I cannot.
I thought it was $1 million.
$1 million. Okay. This app is called $1 million. If you ever wanted to feel how counting $1 million feels like, or what counting $1 million feels like, this app will help you do that. You can choose to count the money out in either 50s or $100 bills.
That sounds kind of fun, actually.
I guess.
Probably take a while.
I think I'd lose interest rather quickly. I Am Bread.
I've played this.
You've played I Am Bread.
Yeah, I believe I played it on my Xbox. I think you can also get it on your Xbox.
All right. I Am Bread is a simulator. We're rolling through weird apps you can put on your cell phone. I Am Bread is a simulator in which you control a single slice of bread, which is on a mission to evolve and become toast. You'll have to skillfully move the bread from its confines in the kitchen, take it across a bunch of different levels to achieve the goal. It has to go into the toaster. So what does the bread have to dodge? I'm picturing silverware, sponges and rags, ants, things like that.
Yes.
That sounds kind of fun.
If I remember correctly, it was a lot harder than I expected it to be. Very hard to control the bread.
Pluck It.
This is up my alley. Yes.
Oh, I thought of you right away.
Oh, I love
could see you
plucking
doing
hairs.
this.
Yes.
Pluck It is a game you can play on your phone where you literally pluck hairs.
So fun.
You've tried this?
I haven't tried the game, but I've tried it in real life. I just love plucking hairs.
It's not painful when you pluck your hairs?
No, I'm used to it because I've plucked my eyebrows since, as long as I can remember.
You get accustomed to the pain.
Yeah, I'm immune to it.
How about the nose? Come on, you're not a cyborg.
Oh, that would hurt.
No, I've actually never done that. I've never dealt with any hairs in my nose.
You've been lucky. I'll have
That'll
one.
make your eyes water.
Oh, I'll send you backpedaling when you pull one out of your nose.
I can't wait.
So I'm guessing this game is tailored to folks who like to watch pimple popping. I'm just guessing. Would you simulate the two, watching pimple popping shows?
Yeah, I agree. It's similar.
Yeah.
Do you watch pimple popping television programming?
They kind of make me sick. I enjoy doing it in my own life, but they makes me sick to watch like the big ones. Ugh.
Okay, no, I couldn't. Not for 2 seconds could I watch that on television.
There are apps where you can do that as well, but I specifically left them off this list because I know how much you hate them, Nick.
Places I've pooped. Now, I have heard of this app.
Poop Maps. That was a big one for a while.
Poop Map. So that's the name of a specific app.
That was the one that was really popular for a bit.
In case you're new to this app is for tracking where you've used the bathroom. You drop a pin wherever you've defecated, like marking your territory. Other people that have the app can see where you've been. Okay.
They should call it a loaf or a log instead of a pin. Don't you think?
It's genius, Josh.
A loaf.
I know some people who were really into that for a while.
I have not heard a bowel movement referred to as dropping a loaf, I think, since I was in 7th grade. I appreciate that very much, Josh. Instead of a pin, you should be dropping a loaf.
I don't think I'd be interested in this game, but I do think it's pretty funny.
Here's another app. You can go ahead, download it on your phone. This one sounds like a test of endurance, a test of stamina. The game or the app is simply called Hold On. And the objective of this game is to hold a button down on the app for as long as humanly possible. The longer you can hold on, the higher your score will be. So you end up with a thumb injury or a cramp in your
tunnel,
tennis elbow, something from holding this button down. Now this is our final. Can we try this before we leave today? I don't know how long a process it is to download an app. I've never downloaded an app in my life.
I have it already.
Oh, you already have it?
So
Yep.
we can really play this?
Yes.
Where has Dana gone?
He has to control it, control everything from a different studio.
So he's listening in?
Yeah.
All right, Dana, how you doing? Great? I'm sure you're having a great time. The Ugly Meter is the final app we're going to mention here. And it says here, if you want to ruin your self-esteem, you use this app to quantify how ugly you are on a scale of 1 to 10. It does this by scanning the details of your face, and this app will also tell you why you've earned the score you did.
Oh, no.
So if the app rules you to be extraordinarily ugly, not only is it going to tell you, it's going to tell you why. So can we all do this before the show is over today in 15 minutes?
Yes. So the Ugly Meter app itself, I wasn't able to find on the iPhone store. But I found one that is similar to it, but it doesn't tell us the details of why we're ugly.
So you need a certain kind of a phone?
Yeah, Dana might be able to get it because he has an Android.
He's kind of busy right here.
Yeah.
Do I have the right phone, Josh?
No, you got the same as Ash.
Do you have the right phone?
Nope, same as Ash.
But I do have one that will tell us if they think we're attractive or not.
But it won't give us any reasoning?
No.
Well, we'll see if we can steal Dana's phone. I'd love to play the Ugly Meter before we go.
And I'd love to go through his photos.
Well, of course.
Yeah, so a little of both.
Well, polish up your dog schlong, because you're about to score. If your job is scoring, you'll never work a day in your life.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Ready to wrap things up over here, Josh. I've been corrected by a listener, a couple of them actually.
What happened?
You pinch a loaf.
Oh, you don't drop
yeah.
a loaf?
I knew when I was saying out loud it sounded funny.
I've heard both.
But it had been so damn long, I wasn't exactly sure.
I've heard that. I think maybe my dad says pinch a loaf.
Oh, God. We've been talking about weird apps that you can download on your cellular telephone. One of them, the only one that I'd heard of, is Places I've Pooped. It'll track where you've used public bathrooms. You can drop a pin wherever you've defecated. Josh was the one who said, you shouldn't be dropping a pin. You should be dropping a log or a loaf. Some of the other weird apps, one is Simply Nothing. One, you play a game where you're tossing ice cubes down a plumber's crack. A simulated shaving experience. It's called Electric Shaver. It'll simulate you're shaving your face with an electric shaver. Send Me to Heaven. You throw your phone up in the air and it'll calculate how high the phone traveled before it breaks into a million pieces. You can count out $1 million. I Am Bread. Got a lot of response from the brother and sisterhood, where you in this app are a piece of bread and you must go on a mission to end up becoming toast. You travel across the kitchen. People are telling us it's very difficult. Pluck It. You literally pluck hairs. Hold on. You hold a button as long as you can. And the Ugly Meter. Now, I wanted to play the Ugly Meter before we exited this morning. But only Dana has the proper cell phone to play Ugly Meter or to download the app. We'll try to get to that tomorrow because that will be very fun.
Let's for sure do that tomorrow.
I'm sure if we can't find that one, I'm sure there's an app that does that exact same thing.
Okay, I hope so. Dana's very busy right now because the radio station nearly caught on fire again earlier this morning. Maybe tomorrow, Ugly Meter. What I'm really interested in is this app will tell you how ugly you are on a scale of 1 to 10, but also tell you why you earned the score that you did.
That's going to be a self-esteem killer.
Oh.
Hey, who knows?
That'd be fun.
What if it says you're like a 10 out of 10, Josh?
I doubt it. I wonder if it's just set up to make everybody feel bad.
It could be. It could be just an app that mirrors, what do they call it online? Roast Me?
Yep. I do love those kind of roast things.
Where people put their picture up on the internet and they ask fellow social media dorks just to unload as much nastiness as humanly possible upon their appearance.
I love those.
That stuff can be really funny. Here are some other apps that our listening audience texted in about. A bowl smoking app.
Yeah.
Did they say how that works?
It just says here, they just explained what it was. This is recovery specialist Jesus, a bowl smoking app where you put weed in a bowl and light it with a lighter. Maybe do you put Ashley, you sound familiar? Do you put the phone to your mouth so it looks as if you're...
Yep, absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
I've seen somebody use this before. It's pretty funny for 10 seconds.
That's the thing. A lot of these apps, I'm sure you download them for a handful of minutes and then it's just garbage.
Being completely unfamiliar with this kind of stuff, I don't know if someone's playing with me or not. A dog whistle app. So this individual says, in high school, I got a dog whistle app. No one ever found out where the high-pitched noise was coming from. Is that for friggin' real?
Well, if it was a dog whistle, I thought humans can't hear that.
Yeah, do you remember, this is many, many, many years ago now, but there was an app that it made the news because kids were playing it in class, and it was such a high pitch, teachers couldn't hear it.
But kids
Yeah, the students could hear it.
Because...
And we tried it on the air.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, to see who could hear it. And you could keep getting higher and higher and higher pitches.
I do remember that because I could hear it sometimes when you guys couldn't.
Yeah, the younger you are, the better your hearing.
Your hearing isn't shot yet.
So we can't hear as high frequencies. So kids were using it in class to mess with students, and the teachers had no idea.
I always thought that was just a BS story that no humans can hear a dog whistle. I always thought it was possible for people to. At any rate, Ashley, you mentioned you mess around with food apps?
Yes.
And what for again? Just to see what's in the food? Like if you order a dish, you want to see...
I can get points if I order through their app. So you can get like a buy one, get one situation.
Well, no, what I mean here is this guy says try an app called Yuka. You can scan 99% of foods. It will tell you what's in it.
Oh, that's really helpful for people that have allergies, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so a little different than you're thinking food apps like Burger King and Taco Bell.
Yeah, I got to get those points, baby.
You are currently involved in an app, a pregnancy app.
Yes.
Because you are with child.
Correct.
And it tells you all kinds of things. I imagine all kinds of things. It's not just the size of your baby as it grows in your belly. I'm sure it tells you other things.
Yeah, what to watch out for, what's going on.
Okay, what to watch out for. Here's a listener that says your fiancé should download the Daddy Up app if he hasn't.
What does that do?
Well, I'm guessing it's going to give him advice on what to expect in the future.
I imagine it's a lot like the maternity books I have. So every couple of pages, there'll be like a little snippet for the dads to read if they want to. And a lot of it is she more irritated than usual? It's not your fault. It's going to be okay kind of vibes.
So I'm looking up the Daddy Up app, and it says it's Dad's Field Guide to Pregnancy, weekly pregnancy tracking, rugged fetus size comparisons.
Oh, that's fun.
Customizable daddy checklist, journal contractions.
Rugged.
Oh, I know he's listening right now.
Instead of describing it as the size of an apple, they're going to say a hand grenade instead of when it gets to the size of a
crazy-legged tree frog. That's one of the suggestions on the size of your baby.
Instead of the women's app might say it's the size of a watermelon, the men's app will say that's the size of a college football, regulation pro football. One individual has texted in to say the Monopoly app is fun as hell.
Oh, I know Dana had an addiction to that for a while.
Did he?
Yep, he tried to get me to play with him because I guess you get like free churns or something if you get more people to play with you.
I mentioned the Pluck It app, right? This is an app where you literally pluck hairs. Virtual hair plucking is what it is. Is that a proper term, Josh?
Yeah.
Virtual hair plucking.
I think that's exactly right.
Okay. I don't know if I forgot to mention that one or not.
You mentioned it. Yeah.
But a listener texted in, and then we got to get going again. A listener texted in and said, and Josh and I were asking you, Ashley, about plucking hairs. And you said you enjoy doing it. We mentioned the pain of plucking hairs. You are used to the pain now.
Yes.
But you've never plucked a hair in your nose.
No.
Which will drop most human beings down to a knee.
Yeah, you might cry.
Right. Here's
definitely going to tear up.
Yeah.
Oh,
a listener texted in to say, I used to watch Vikings games with my dad while I was laying on the floor in front of the television. I could see my dad's head jerk backwards out of the corner of my eye, and I would turn around to see tears in his eyes. I always thought he was crying because the Vikings were losing, but now I realize he was pulling out nose hairs. That's from Big Brown Crayon Making Jesus. I've never plucked a nose hair. On purpose. It's happened accidentally once or twice. But I bought one of those battery-powered nose hair trimmers.
Yep.
And I know we've had differing results. You enjoyed it. I thought it was horrible.
Yeah, mine doesn't hurt at all.
Hurts like a bastard.
Magic.
Maybe I have deeper-rooted hairs.
Could be.
I was so excited to get a damn battery-powered nose hair trimmer. because I thought it would just be a beautiful, easy process. And I almost ended up in the emergency room. I threw it in the garbage immediately.
Yeah, I wonder what the difference is.
I must have bought a cheap one.
Well, so was mine. Mine was, and it was like a multi-tool, basically. Super cheap, and I never had an issue.
Oh, my God. I was bleeding.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I didn't have that problem.
Have you guys ever...
How far were you sticking it up there?
I was kind of tickling the brain pan a little bit.
Were you?
No, I don't know. It was a terrible thing. You were saying, Ashley?
Have you guys ever enjoyed pulling your beard hairs out?
Oh, no, that's terrible.
I've known a couple guys that like to do that.
Oh, they must be serial killers. Because especially if my hooded sweatshirt grabs one out of my neck, I'm furious for the rest of the day because that's so much damn pain.
I've pulled one before on an ex, and it was really satisfying what comes out of there.
Ooh, I've never looked at what comes out of it.
It's always like, it's a lot longer than you'd imagine.
All right.
And it's kind of got like a...
Like a root?
Yeah, the root.
Okay,
the
I
root
don't want to...
is satisfying.
I don't know. Maybe I guess I'd look at it. But, no. Pulling a beard hair out sucks.
Yeah. Like you said, like a shirt or jacket or something. Sometimes that'll get you, and that's smarts.
And we know that we know one guy whose chest hair comes pouring out of the top of his shirt. It's just terrible.
That's not right.
And he's mentioned before when those get grabbed out on accident. Dana, did you have a good day?
Yeah, I had a great day. Got my cardio in. I don't have to go to the gym later. Not that I was planning on going anyway.
At least it wasn't your fault, Dana. It's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. About an hour ago, we had some technical difficulties, and since then, Dana's been running around the building like his friggin' hair is on fire.
That's dedication.
I don't need a reason to sweat, but I definitely have one now.
We gotta go.
Happy 14th to Isaac, a.k.a. Zimmerman High School Adapted Bowling State Champion, Jesus. From pretty awesome.
A bowling state champion?
Yes.
Listening to this show.
I guess so.
That's awesome.
Turning 14 today from Beer and Pizza Jesus. Happy birthday to Paxton, turning 15, and good luck with the permit test tomorrow. That's from Works. Too much plowing snow, Jesus. Hope to see you again tomorrow.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.